Hi everyone. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's my fault. I was looking for good lighting. But, I hope you guys are all interested and excited for this interview. I really wanted to talk to the Happy Companion because, as you guys know, he is leaving very, very soon. So, we definitely just wanted to reach out to him and just ask him a couple of questions. Hopefully, you guys are also inspired by this interview. I'm going to ask a lot of questions, but I hope that these questions help you out. My bad. So, yeah, without further ado, I think some people got the notification. So I'm just going to add him on here, and hopefully we could just start this as we go.
Hey, how you doing? Salam. Peace be upon you. Peace and blessings. What's up, fam? How you doing? How you doing, African Millennium? Thank you, sister.
Great. Hi, Donnie. Just let me know if you want to get up in here, but later. I'm going to interview him. So anyways, introduce yourself, Happy Companion. I'm pretty sure you guys already know him. Like half of my subscribers are from Happy Companion. Thank you so much.
No problem. It's an honor to be on your show. I'm pretty sure I reached out to some people. They're gonna be coming too, because I think.
I've never seen you before, Yana Limitness. Interesting.
Yeah. I've seen her before. I've seen that person. I've seen him on my channel. Oh yeah.
Hi, Lasagna.
Say hi to your family first. Then you can be back on. Say hi to your family. If they see. Well, I'm back on. Let me get back. Well, I'm from born and raised in Long Beach, California, from the east side. So I got my shirt on today for you. I said, let me wear this shirt on for African Millennium today. So I'm gonna try to get some more shirts before I leave. And I was born and raised in Long Beach, California. I'm 35 years old. No, I'm not 35. I'm a little older than 35, but I was a quiet kid growing up, had good friends I still talk to today. And I was into athletics. I was pretty much a scholar to a certain extent. I was gifted and talented. I was one of those kids that loved to watch National Geographic growing up as a kid. Anything related to overseas stuff. I just inspired about traveling. I want to travel. So I grew up, a kid in the 70s and then my teens in the 80s.
Question,
And
not to cut you off. How did you grow up though? Like, was it rich, middle class, average?
I grew up between middle and poverty. Okay. Depends on, certain stages in my life, who I stayed with. I stayed with my grandmother part of my time, and my brothers, and then my mom too. But ups and downs. We had ups and downs. The rough part of growing up is when the early 80s came, and then the crack epidemic entered the Black community in South Central LA, Compton, Hub City, and Long Beach, all over the country. It was bad. And so then Reaganomics was part of it as well. Reaganomics cut a lot of the social welfare systems. And they was talking about say no to drugs, but they was believed to have been putting drugs into the community. And then our people were being arrested and there was a lot of cops that was corrupt cops, and they were caught planting drugs, taking bribes, so they were only trying to exterminate us at that time. So as a youth, I said, I was on the streets too, you know what I'm saying? I was on the streets, but I was also in the books. And I was also into the ladies, I had girlfriends. So a lot of my girlfriends that I had were always like, how can I say, they kind of like kept me off the streets to a certain extent because they just want to spend time. We go to the movies, we do things like that. So, and I still communicate with some of them. They're on my Facebook and whatnot. And I thank them. I think part of that was the reason why, I didn't get into too much trouble, you know. Um, so I just stayed out of trouble. I saw people making mistakes, and I stayed out of it. So you got helicopters, you got flying in the air, with they stroke. You got police jacking you up for no reason, patting you down, and you know. And so I was like, man, And then I had a shotgun in my face when I was like 17 years old. By some gang members, I don't know who they were, but they were looking for somebody. They thought it was me, and so
You
I had
fit the description, right?
yeah, exactly. It's like, and I got lucky because I had a shag. You see on my video, and I had waves. I thought I was Ralph Tresvant for New Edition. That was my. I don't know if you're talking about. Anybody know about New Edition? Tell me if you can hit the like button. Hey, as you enter, hit the like button for African Millennial too. But I thought I was like, you get a lot of intel from me. She reminded me of my daughter a lot, so I'm gonna open up to her than anybody else. Okay. So I thought I was, I used to listen to New Edition and all of, I used to be, I wanted to be like Ralph Tresvant, so I had a shag and stuff, me and my friends. So, and then, it's like a day, back and forth. It's day to day, am I going to survive? Am I going to get away from here? So I tried when I graduated from Long Beach Poly, East Side Long Beach, very good school, Scholars of Champion. I had a video about that recently. Um, and my cousin, he was in the Air Force, but he was a Vietnam vet. And then my ex-girlfriend, her sister's boyfriend was in the Navy. And he used to come to Long Beach Seaport. So I was going to join the Marines, but I was like, nah, somebody told me not to do it. I forgot who did it. So I said, I went to the Navy ship. He said, this is where I live. He had a bunk and it flipped three people stacked like sardines and said, this is where I live. He said, go to the Air Force, brother. So I joined the Air Force about a semester out of school. And so when I joined the Air Force, it changed my life, you know, because at one point, we got people out there slanging, and slanging means selling dope. People out there selling dope. People that I seen personally, life changed by smoking crack, and that's why I was against marijuana. I never smoked marijuana. I never used drugs, and that's the reason why, because I thought that was a prelude to the crack smoking. I said, if you smoke weed, you're gonna eventually smoke crack, and that's my young mind. I know that that's not true now, but I was like, nah, man, I'm not gonna do that. Then at about a semester after school, I was 18 years old. I joined the Air Force, and so that changed my life. I was able to uh, you know, just do some things, got some good training, good experience, good skills. I was, young kid, 18 years old, and I'm working. I'm, like, you know, it it's just it's a structured environment from a chaotic environment, from a war zone. Okay, it was a battle zone growing up. We leave when we leave the hood. When we in the hood, we have PTSD too.
Of course.
People don't realize that. You have a certain
Oh,
PTSD.
absolutely. Absolutely. I was recently, I know this is your interview, but I'm just saying, I was recently talking to my cousin, and he lives in Chicago.
Mhm.
And you know how we make fun of Chicago, Chirac, but he was like, it's actually real out here. You're not here, so you don't know. But there are kids, 12, 13, 14, they're seeing dead bodies. What do you
Mhm.
think that does to a child when you're in an environment where you see people who die all the time, but you don't get any help for that? You're just told to deal with that.
Yeah, you told to deal with it, and I was in the Air Force and I saw Boys in the Hood, and that made me cry. I had like some flashbacks watching that movie, and I was in Texas at that time. I was stationed there, and I went with my friends. We all went, all the brothers, brothers from New York, brothers from Miami, but we always had these inner city military cliques. We was like, yeah, let's, the homies. We all went, and they saw me crying, you know, and they were like, "What are you crying, man?" It's just so much remind me of what I left about a few months ago. I just left this environment, man. So if you haven't watched Boys in the Hood, which you probably have, that's the environment that I've seen growing up. Okay, and that's the reason why I wear this shirts and things, to try to inspire my brothers and sisters from my neighborhood to try to go and do things, you know, and the brother can make it out of there. You just got to stay out of trouble, man. Don't get caught up in the madness and try to make that fast money. Be patient, okay? Because what happens is you see all these kids with uh 5.0s, you know, 5.0 on Dayton's. We call them Dana Danes, you know, and they was on there flashing and flossing. You had Suzuki Samurais, all these type of cars. They're making that fast money while we catching a city bus. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you're catching a city bus, or, you know, and the girls always want the guys with those cars, but I had no problem getting ladies, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that was something like that's happened. I'm on my show by myself. What's going on, African Millennium? You left me by myself, but that's fine. So anyway, uh, yeah, I think she got cut off. Oh, she just saying hello to everyone. Well, so that's what happened, and like I said, that changed my life, and I was happy to be there. And let me see, 1 second.
Oh.
I'll be by myself on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm shy. You guys know I'm shy, don't you? Everybody know I'm shy. I'm shy and innocent. But anyway, thank you. Yeah, but like I said, thank you. Forcing these too. Had the curl too. What's up?
Hi, Uncle Millennial Mama. Hi,
Yeah.
Rich Reggae. Hi, Angelique Porter.
Mhm.
Yana, thank you once again. Mr. Mosley, thank you so much. Hope you guys are great. Jahari, thank you. Thank you for being here. Global Green Book, thank you. Family, you guys are so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hope you guys enjoy. You know, I just really want to talk to, you know, the Happy Companion, and I want to know where it started and where it's going to end. You know, I really wanted to know more about exactly, you know, his humble beginnings, and hopefully throughout this interview, we'll really get to know him, because guys, like he said, he's leaving. So we definitely just want to know, you know, what's happening and what's going on.
Okay. So going in chronological order, is that right? All right. So I spent some time in military, stayed in, went to reserves, came out to active duty, started college again. I was going to college while I was in the military as well. So I think when I graduated with my bachelor's, I had 232 semester hours of college. I think you only need 120, something like that. I don't know. I had a whole bunch of college credit because of military, and then I came back on the block a little bit and ran into my friend, childhood friends, Rock Shakur and everybody, and you know, I started seeing people every now and then I was ciphering with them, and then we was all on a different path. You know, we all start to like get this conscious thing going, and so I started to actually when I was overseas. It started that way too. And before I went overseas to Korea, so I started reading a lot of books. I was like, I was just hungry. I was in the library every day, just reading. And I was like, everybody else was like partying, hanging out. I left in my early times in the military. Yeah, I was out there hanging out, partying, you know, clubbing, going to the NCO club, going to the base, going all over, hanging out. And then I got to a point like one of my brothers who was 5 years older than me. He's from New York. He's from the Bronx. What's up, Rod? How you doing, bro? He was like a mentor to me and brother Walt. But Rod was like on a different path. He was on a conscious path, and he was, you know, like he took me on his wings. He said, man, you know, everybody see you're smart. You're smart. You're very intelligent. Start utilizing that intelligence. Start utilizing that intelligence. And I was shy. And so I started hitting the books, going to the library all the time. So I spent part of my like 2 or 3 days a week at the base library just reading stuff. I take books back to me and start reading it. And so I started doing it. So start reading about Africa, start reading Malcolm X autobiography, start reading Roots by Alex Haley, And then when I got out, then I entered the Dean of Religion of Islam, and that was really something that really woke me up. Because in Islam, it's not like a way of life. It's not a religion. It's a way of life. What we read, what we practice is what we see, what we read. We practice it. What I'm saying? Things that we do from the time we wake up in the morning till we go to sleep is part of what we read. So, everything we do is part of it if you practice it in the correct way, of course. So that kind of really got me because I found out a lot of my ancestors and this and that, I found through that. And no disrespect to anybody's faith. I'm just saying this is what that helped me because at that time, the other faith, it didn't benefit me. I didn't see that. I saw it was so Eurocentric to me. And even as a kid, I would see pictures of Jesus and stuff. I paint them brown and black in the Sunday school, and the people get mad. What are you doing? I said, I don't see it. This is not, I question that. I question it. And my grandmother got mad, one time, but then she understood it too after a certain time. And I told her, and my mom and everybody was like, wow, they were happy. They saw the change in me. I was more mature. Cleanliness, everything. Just, I was a clean person anyway. I'm just saying certain things that you do, even when you use the restroom, there's certain things that you do, with water and all that. People don't know about that. In the African culture, everybody know that. You use water to do things, clean yourself and stuff when you in the restroom and everything. It's just everything. Eating with your right hand. I'm like, why, just everything. It was just very, it woke me up. And I became woke because of that. And I became more African. Then I changed my name too, So I took things that was taken from me, from my ancestors. I took my religion back, and people question that. People got different things. Okay, that's my personal thing. I took my name and I took 2 languages, Arabic and Swahili. I'm about to learn another one. So now, when I said on the last video with Gina's video, I mentioned, hey man, Africa, hey, save me. I want to be saved. I don't care, because I feel like I want to know what was taken. There's certain things that I need more. And look at this collaboration right now. We have sister from the continent interviewing an African diaspora. We don't see this. When I was growing up in the 90s and the 2000s and whatnot, it wasn't like that. When I was stationed in DC, I was stationed in DC for a little bit in the Air Force, and I was going to City College there, and after work, and I ran into a brother from Africa. He was from Nigeria, I think, and he wore, he was a Christian brother, I think, and but he wore like a outfit, like a garb. And I said, brother, how you doing? May I ask where you from? I was trying to be. He said, I'm from Africa, and he saw my eyes lit up, like, wow. I was so happy, I said, this brother from Africa. I was like, dang, I don't meet too many people from Africa. So I started talking to him. I said, man, tell me a little bit more. He had an accent. He said, yeah, I think it was a psychology class or something I was taking. And, I said, so I was always want to hear what he had to say, how growing up. And even my instructor in Arabic in Quran school for me and Rock Shakur, he was from Nigeria. He was Yoruba. He was from Yoruba tribe, ethnicity. And he started to and he would talk about his stories in Africa. I said, Africa, oh, Africa, And so I didn't have that negative, because in the 80s, in 1983, 84, I think, 82, when they had the famine in Ethiopia, that's the only thing we knew about was Africa.
Yeah.
And then people make this joke and say, how does an Ethiopian look when they swallow rice? A grain of rice. You know what I'm saying? And people be pulling at their neck like that's a grain of rice to their neck. That's how skinny they are. You see what I'm saying? And so they're kind of African booty scratchers and stuff like that. You hear all those different things. And I'm like, where are we, as I grow up, I say, where do we get this information from? It's just a slave mentality. I'm sorry. I know you're going to ask a question. I'm sorry. I'm just running on. But that was part of it.
You answered my first question, which was when you became conscious and when you became woke. So you already answered the first question.
Yeah. Rock M, the hip hop Rock M, Public Enemy, Ice Cube, when he came out with the death certificate, I was like, that's a point. It started those, because the music kind of goes through our system as a rhythm, and it kind of like I didn't want to listen no gangster rap. I just want to listen to that conscious rap. you know, because you get a different feeling. Okay, if I listen to some gangster rap when I go to work, I'm a gangster. But if I listen to some you know, some conscious rap or some jazz or R&B or something, I have a different type of emotion when I go. You know what I'm saying? So when I mean, it's all about that knowledge of self. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. It was knowledge of self, Queen. I was like, you know, I was like, whoa, man. I was excited. I was hungry, and now I'm hungry again. Okay, it was. How can I say it? It was subdued. It was always in the underlayer of who I am. I always think about it, but at
Yeah.
the time I'm in a system, so I can't really express myself in a system how I really want because of the ramifications
Yeah.
that they got us under. So, you know, man, I was at school. When I was at college, man, I was handing out, I was doing this thing. I was doing dawa. That means medicine in Arabic and Swahili. So dawa means giving medicine to people who don't practice. So I was handing out cassette tapes of speeches, like this dude named Khalid Yassin. He was from East Coast, I believe, but he has a CD called "What's the Purpose of Life and What is Al Islam." If you listen to that tape, it changed your life, man. You don't have to be a Muslim or nothing, but it'll wake you up to what what I practice. So I was handing those tapes out to the college. Everybody was saying, man, people was talking to me within like 1 day or 2 days. They said, "Shadow la ilaha illallah wa shadow Muhammad Rasulullah." They go to mosque and they become a Muslim. That's how deep it was. I have whole family become, you know, so I was really on that path right there because I wanted to share what I experienced. Because when I see people, I'm like, oh, you know, I want them to be on the level where I was at and get those blessings. But go ahead, ask questions, Queen.
Yeah. Because now I'm wondering, okay, so your conscience and you're talking about you being in college and how you had this knowledge and you really wanted to share it. Now let me ask you this. How did that translate into when you actually started your career? Because I mean, everybody who's watching knows that you had a military career, but how did that work? Because your
Yeah.
conscience is
Yes.
black and
Hmm.
you're Muslim.
Exactly.
How did you face certain issues with that?
Yeah. Because changing my government, what it was, the slave name to Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr. Okay, man, that was a eye-opening experience. I received a lot of discrimination. Sometimes people was like, "What is this?" So I switched units to go to a different state to start over fresh. You know what I'm saying? And because there was a more of a to protect myself. Okay, this was before. This was early. This is early '90s, mid '90s. Okay, this is mid '90s that happening. So I'm I'm like how can I say it? I didn't I wasn't the type who was hating the system. Okay, I was thankful for my military career. I was thankful to be serving my country because my grandfather was in World War II, you know, so I kept that. My mom was so proud of me and, you know, had me go over to a friend's house with my uniform on and stuff, this is my son, and so that made me, really think positively about it. And I swore oath, I still stick to that oath. Okay, that I won't, you know, sell secrets and all this kind of stuff. I'm not no damn Snowden, whatever they call it, people like that. I swore oath. When there's a Muslim swore oath, they got to abide by the oath. You know what I'm saying? So um, it was a transition that I think that when people looked at me, a lot of times they stop looking at my name and they start looking at my character and my morals, and they start looking at, man, this guy's a cool brother. And I kept everybody, whether white, black, Latino, I was always fair to people under me, and I showed respect, and I held my emotions if they, I know how to deflect nonsense and ignorance. And when they ask me questions about the religion, whatever, I ask because we're obligated to answer. So I asked to enough to give them a little bit about it. Hey, man, we're not terrorists, man. So before 9/11, it was peaceful. After 9/11, Then it became really hard for Muslims in the military. Okay, it very hard. But the thing I can say about it is that 99% of, even in my law, I was law enforcement too in my civilian thing. Even with our background, our background checks are more scrutinized, I believe. I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure when they see a brother with this name, and all of a sudden he has this Muslim name, I'm pretty sure they like, what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, because I knew that I'm not doing nothing wrong, and I'm not that kind of the radicalized Islamic extremist kind of brother, you can run a background check. You can do whatever you want to do because I know who I am. And so that's why I wasn't really worried. But I was just worried about, not really worried. So they did so people like myself, even in my law enforcement career, we got this thing called trust and betrayed. There's people who do things, they accept bribes, they let drugs and aliens come through and all this kind of stuff. They do all kind of negative stuff. So then they get internal affairs to investigate them and stuff for a period of time. Then they get arrested. Then bam, they're on this poster. This person was selling drugs and doing all this kind of stuff, but they're never Muslims. And there's a lot of Muslims in there, and they're never Muslims. So I was like, see, you're trying to say we all bad, and look at all this. You got Jose, you got Bob, you got all these people doing all this stuff, and look, you got Abu Bakr, he's not doing a damn thing. So ha ha ha. So I felt like, right back at you, throw it at me. And then because they saw that, and I was very above, always respected me because they said he is something different. And so I became a commissioned officer. I made it all the way to staff sergeant in the Air Force. Then I made it to second class petty officer, which is an E5, and leading teams. I led some teams. Then when I became a military officer, I made it all the way to lieutenant, and I was leading about 50 people. And like I said, I was always the type of person who had good character, integrity, and honesty. And they saw that above the African Americans under me. When I first came joined the team, they used to call me Barack, like Barack Obama, because they said this is Barack, and then because they was like, I'm like one of a kind, somebody they never seen at this level, and they're like, wow, they were so happy to see me there representing, and they were like, it was like it's like a movie called A Soldier Story. I don't know if you saw that back in the day. Watch the soldier stories about this. It's a black captain, like a lieutenant, same rank as me, and he going to this all black base, and everybody like, damn, they never saw a black officer. And they were like, oh my god, they say, is this real? And that's why it was to me. So I felt like I had a duty to show everyone that we are good people. That as a black man and as a Muslim, that hey, we're not gonna go suicide bombing and all that kind of crap. You know what I'm saying? That we are legit people who just want to live in peace just like everybody else. But I had my struggles. I had discrimination in there, but I fought some of them, and some of them I didn't worry about. We can't fight every little battle. I just let it, okay, go. Whatever, man. Do what you gotta do. You're gonna believe what you're gonna do. Believe because that's the way you was raised and that's the way you is. You can't never change these people. So I said, just go with it, but what can you do to me? Okay. I left that without even a letter of counseling, a little reprimands and anything in the military. I had a stellar career. But yeah, next question.
Okay, well, okay, you were in the military. You had a really good position. You were there for a couple of years. You also traveled to other countries. Why did you travel to other countries?
Well, partly work and partly personal. Africa was always personal. Even this trip was personal. It's my personal business that I did in the Gambia. It was me, my own self. No government, no military, nothing like that. It was me. So I had a bug for traveling ever since I went to Korea. I was 18 years, I think 19 years old. I was stationed over in South Korea, and that was where I was like, man. And when I was in Texas, I was stationed in Texas, though, but I have a lot of family in Texas. I chose Texas at first because I got a lot of family in Texas, so I can see and be with my aunts and I see my dad and stuff because my mom they weren't together, so I could see my dad, and so I chose to be in Texas. But my unit at the time, I was part of. I always had high level clearances and whatnot, but they didn't want me to go, and I said, I had to tell them. I said, look, because I had volunteered for Desert Storm too, but they held me back from going there. and I was gonna go. I served during Desert Storm, but I didn't get to go. They were like, nah, because I was working for the command, high level command, and they didn't want to see somebody, in my level. I was under the command section. I was in the commander, working with the colonels and all that. So I was a young airman working with high level with generals, staff.
You decide to go though? Was it you just wanted to, or did you feel a responsibility to do it?
I felt a responsibility because I didn't join the service to stay in the States. I joined the service to serve abroad and defend our country and to defend the Constitution of the United States. That's why I joined. I joined to represent my grandfather who served and to honor him as well because he was a World War II vet. And so I didn't come in there to do crap. I came there to fight. As a matter of fact, when I was in basic training, our drill instructor, we call them technical instructors in the Air Force, he said, how many people join the Air Force for college? How many people join the Air Force to see the world? Everybody raise their hand. No, you join the Air Force to kill. Your job is to kill, kill, kill. You know what I'm saying? So they jumped at it and you were like, oh my God. You had to wake up call because because Air Force is very difficult to get into the Air Force because the ASVAB test, you got to score very high. So when you look at the Air Force Processing Center, it's like 20 people going into it. You look at the Army, you got 300 people in there. The Marines, you got 500 people. You know what I'm saying? So it was very difficult to join the Air Force. So if you join the Air Force, you wanted the smart people. You're not going to be fighting and stuff. And you were like, oh man, you want me to fight? I say okay. And then when the war happened, I was like, yo, I don't care if it was Muslim, this and that. I was like, I wanted to be boots on the ground, and because I saw, and I saw like what everybody else saw. I was like, hey, so but they were like, man, because I had just took over somebody's position who went to a different place. He got assigned somewhere else. Then that came about. So they needed me to retain me for a little bit longer before they try to get somebody else because everybody was already gone. So unbeknownst to them, I put in for special duties. I mean, a remote tour, a short tour, which is Korea. And a lot of times, short tours is 1 year tours, and they can't stop it. You have to do it in the Air Force. You have to do a short tour one time in your career, and your family can't go with you if you have a family. So I said, well, I'm gonna get this short tour out the way because guess what? If the military, if I ever have a family, I won't have to leave them later on for a year. So let me get this short tour out the way. So I volunteered for the short tour, unbeknownst to the command. I got picked up, and then I got orders, and the commander over at the other place where I was going to Korea outranked the command where I was at, and so they couldn't stop it. And I said, and it was like, why you gotta go? I said, I didn't, I'm happy here, but I feel like something tells me I need to be overseas. I like to be overseas. I always wanted to travel, and I said it's my time to do it. While I'm, and they would say, we understand. Keep in touch. They was always sending me letters. They sent me gifts, cookies, and all kind of stuff. And the people, they were very nice to me, and they were umzungus. Okay, they were very nice to me and stuff. And I said, okay. So I went ahead and like I said, there's a handful of people I can put on two hands of the Zungus who are very good to me, and I respect them very much, and I'm thankful for their mentoring and guiding me as well because they saw somebody who had potential, and I fulfilled those potential exponentially. So I spent some time. That's why I wanted to go overseas because I felt like I don't know if it was an ancestral call at that time or as far as like for because it definitely wasn't hijra or nothing like that. But when I set foot on the ground in Korea and I went to the shops, I bought my mama a whole bunch of mink blankets. I was always sending stuff to my mama, so I sent my mama and some stuff and uh, nice coats and clothes. She used to take pictures and stuff. So my boy sending me this stuff. So you get things very cheap there, because it's inexpensive there. And I just like the smells of food. We go out and we'll eat the kimchi and stuff. And I started learning a little Korean, but I was also studying in college there on the base college, and I was taking classes, and I was also hanging out with the homies too, from all people. We all from different places. I have a network of friends that I still keep in touch with today, and so it grew a brotherhood. But the overseas experience was an eye-opening experience for me. I said because I always thought I couldn't really see out of Long Beach growing up.
course.
All I knew was Long Beach. And I was like, and then LA was just a 20-minute drive. It was like like another world to me, you know. Occasionally we go to LA, go to Compton, and stuff like that, go to Watts, which I was scared to go to Watts, go to SC, South Central, and things like that. But, as an inner city kid, I got this experience. And my aunt, one of my aunts on my mom, my grandma, my mama's side, my mother's aunt, she's my great aunt, she lived in Texas, and she always. When I do my autobiography, I'm gonna mention a lot of this stuff. Okay, it's about to be on about my life, and she really inspired my aunt Marguerite. She really inspired me. She was very, very, and she was an educator, and she was always said education is the key to success. And then she was always tell me, and I told because the struggles that we were going through as kids, me and my brothers, and she said you will survive. He said, you will survive. And she knew that we would go to see her on summers. And she was always taking me under her wing and always very proud. And she like people see something in me that I didn't see in myself a lot of times, but I don't look at myself like people see me. I just see me as, hey, I'm Saeed, but people see something in me in that. And even when I was overseas in Korea, they saw that, and I saw my eagerness to practice the Korean language. So when I came back on my short tour, for my mid tour, I was going to everything's changed. The dynamics of Long Beach had changed. A lot of the Koreans had took over from the black store-owned stores, and so I was going in there and I said, "Adashi, Kansamida," this and that. They were looking like, "What the hell? You speaking this?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm in Korea. I'm going back in about 30 days. I'm on leave now." And they were like, "Whoa!" And so they said, "No, no, no, you come here, sit with me, sit with me." So I sit with them and we talking and stuff. And then they said, "No, no, you can have this shirt. This is your shirt. You can have it." I said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, I won't take it." And they said, "No, no, it'd be an insult. Take it." So they gave me a couple of shirts and stuff. And I was like, so they want to sit down and talk because they were happy to see somebody from the hood go to Korea and then come back. But go ahead.
I think, when you're talking about how you went to Korea and stuff like that, I think a lot of people don't really realize the importance of traveling.
Yes.
And this is not to be mean to anybody, but
Mm-hmm.
there are some people out there who they've never even left their state.
Yep.
Like their whole life is in their city. So everything that they know is in this confined area of a couple of miles. And I don't know, it's if you actually look at a lot of Black people don't travel. A lot of Black people don't have passports, and I know traveling can be expensive, but even if it's to go to a different state, you need to see a different life. You can't just limit yourself to what you see, because then you won't know the possibilities. You won't know the fact that people live differently in other areas, and you won't know also the other opportunities that are out there. I've noticed that's the reason why some Black people, and I like to use the word Black, I know some people get on me for that, but whatever.
Okay.
Some Black people, they've given up because they haven't tried to look at the world from a different perspective. They haven't tried to go somewhere else and start all over. Like right now, for instance, with this whole COVID nonsense. If you don't want to go to Africa, for instance, a suggestion that I would have is some Black people, you live in a certain area like California or New York, where, to be honest, it's really hard sometimes to make it in those areas. Why don't you try going to the South? Why don't you try going to a different state and seeing how other people live and seeing if you can start your life over? So it's really cool how you had that calling, especially early on in your life.
It is very crucial. And because once you get that travel bug in you early, you're not as fearful as you grow older. And I did travel to a lot of states on my personal and in the military. I drove across country a few times, stopped and see what's going on. I saw a Native American, so-called Native American. For the first time, I was like, man, this is how they really look, because we see them on TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was in Flagstaff, Arizona. I was driving off the 10 freeway, and I was like, wow. I said, so, I saw indigenous brother, African brother, Afro-Asiatic brother on, and I was like so amazed to see that. And like I said, and that's one in my book. I'm having a book coming out hopefully before the end of the year called "The Mentality of the Slave." That's my next book, and it's going to talk about people, our brothers and sisters, not having a passport. The only place that you go is Vegas, okay, or jerk. You know what I'm saying? And that's true. And if you ever travel out of the country, you go into Tijuana for a little border run, which is Southern California over there, San Diego, or you're going to go to Jamaica or the Caribbean or something like that, which is okay. Which is okay. However, or if you go, you're gonna go to Europe. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to London. I want to go this. Why? Because this is what you have in your mind.
Yeah.
We this on the outside, but we this on the inside. And that's what happens sometimes. We have to be cognizant of that. And that's why I want to do that. Get a passport, first of all. Okay. And like I said, the first time, and that's why I give advice a lot of times to people when our people are traveling overseas for the first time and they're trying to go to the Gambia and whatnot. That's why I say it's very imperative that you do your research. You learn about the country, especially if you're bringing families, because they would pack their bags up in a heartbeat. If you're not I've seen it happen. You got to do your research.
I've seen it happen too. I've seen it happen too.
Mm-hmm. Because you go by too much emotions and you're going by the dream of going to Africa, and then all of a sudden the dream is not what you thought it was. And it's not saying it's negative. You just didn't take the time to have an open mind. And that's the reason why we had to talk yesterday on my live with the Sheikh Yahya and everyone. We was, having like an African village in Africa. I think they bought a lot of land in Georgia, I heard. So you can have people from that continent, who are in the States, teach African languages, teach how to make African food, teach how to live African before you even go to Africa. If you think about it, and you guys, have you seen movies before? Plenty of movies, war movies and stuff. They got little towns in the desert all over around America where they have a makeshift Baghdad or makeshift Megadushu, makeshift, this city. And they got natives there from the countries working as role players, and you have the military going in trying to speak to them, talk to them, eating stuff, or they have food restaurants and things like that, have them eat the food. And then when they go, and I'm not trying to say the military operation, I'm saying, but it's just some type of you can follow this thing. So, and then that will prep them. So when they go to downrange, we call it downrange, when they go into that area, then they're able to adapt a lot quicker than the shock and awe. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So if you have something like that, like I say, I eat a lot of African food while I'm in a plantation, and that's exactly what this is. It is a plantation, in metaphorically speaking, because if because the way we are currently not in a plantation. What happens on a plantation when we was taken? We don't know. We didn't know our languages. We don't know our cultures. We don't know our religions. We are living in an area in an area that we don't have this connection to our Africanism. Okay, so in order to get that information, you may have to leave to gain it. Okay, that's the reason why I use that term plantation, because plantation is something that takes you away from who you are. Okay, because we're more than this. We have more to offer. We have a vast history, and that's the reason why things are taught in our schools a certain way, so we can still stay in this level of misunderstanding. The Miseducation of the Negro. That's a good book to read as well. And so as long as we stay on the plantation in our minds too, you can still be physically on a plantation. Like I mentioned, you can learn, you can eat the foods and stuff like that, but it's still going to be a plantation. No disrespect, but it is. So yes.
Oh yeah, no. I was just gonna add on to what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying, and especially with the way that the world is right now, like the current situation that the world is right now, a lot of people are really freaked out, but I'm more at ease because this time has given me time to really reflect on my life and in certain things, and to really realize that sometimes you have to slow down, you know,
Yes.
because the way this place is, it's like you wake up at 7 a.m., you go to work, you come home at 3 o'clock, maybe you got to take care of your kids, cook, do whatever, and do it again the next day. You don't really get a time to reflect and realize, and that's obviously done by design, but it's really hard to not be caught up in the trance over here. It's really difficult. So I really like how this time has given us the opportunity to slow down and really understand what's important, really understand also who we are spiritually, because a lot of us understand who we are physically, but we don't really understand the power that we have spiritually.
Yes.
We just think that we're here and what we see physically is what exists, but there's so much more to the physical world. The spiritual world, once you really understand what's going on, and I'm not even talking about like the bad stuff. I'm talking about everything. Like a lot of people actually think that the world that they see, that's it. But there's so many other depths and so many other levels. And we as African people, we can't live in our potential when we're limited. That's all I wanted to add, but keep going.
Yeah, and it's like and that's part of being woke too, is that when I became awakened, just like the brother Rod I mentioned from New York, he experienced the same thing. You get angry because I was angry at my mom for a little bit for not telling me a lot of things too, but I didn't take it out on her. Of course not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why? And I realized, see, she wasn't taught that too much. She knew a little bit. She was conscious, trust me. But it's more thing. It is like, um, you're like, I've been denied all this stuff. And like I said, when I went to Korea, I got the travel bug in me, and I was always traveling. And people in that spiritual, maybe that was an ancestral, prayer too, to get him prepared for this day as well. Okay, he traveled. He went overseas for a year. He's traveled to other countries. He did. Let's take it step by step. And when it's time to get him there, he'll be ready, prepared. Finished with the careers, finished with whatnot. His daughter's grown now. I'm single. I can go and do things that I normally wouldn't do if I was married. So I'm able to have this freedom now to go ahead and venture out. But we are spiritual people, okay? Most definitely, and we have rhythm. We have a connection with the earth, with the nature. You know, we weren't in caves in the cold in the wilderness and freezing our butts off. We had the sun of energy that shine on us every day. Okay. And we were able to eat the berries and the fruits, and things like that. We were able to so many different languages that we had, so many different languages that we have that we learned to speak. And that we are able to communicate more languages that other people have in their nations. So it's like, and having that zeal. I always had the zeal. And then that leads to my to when I went to Hajj. Okay. And I mentioned I think yesterday, I made intention. I went to Mecca and I went to Medina, I made Hajj and I did Umrah. And so I was did about 3 Umrahs, meaning that I went to Umrah is a mini Hajj. Hajj is a pilgrimage to Mecca, and I did 3. And I see how what's his name? Well, actually, before Hajj, Dr. Henry Gates Jr. and S-Man African man, he used to watch him too. I don't know where he's at today, but we I watched his videos. It says Wonders of the African World. I think it was in the late '90s, early 2000s when he started to travel around Africa. He's a Harvard Black history professor, and he traveled around the world and in Africa. And I was like, wow. And so he visited the Swahili coast as one of them. He visited Ghana too, met the Ashantes, he met all these people. And so I went ahead and started watching that show. And I bought the CDs too. But I watched them over and over and over again. And then because I took Swahili too, and then I started taking more. So then when I visited Kenya, I was like, wow, man, I couldn't, it's like,
Your first, was your first encounter on the continent with
it was amazing. It's like, and I took my daughter there with me, you know what I'm saying? And she got to see, the motherland.
it definitely is amazing. The motherland is really interesting. There are so many areas that are untouched. You get to see the mosques. You get to see like I forgot where it was. There's this area in Ethiopia. They have like the Coptic church.
Yes.
Like,
I'm sorry.
it's all right. It's okay. I mean, everybody just has to experience that. Like,
I'm gonna give me a second. Okay. Yeah, she got to experience it, and I was so proud of that girl, and she got to ride the camels, you know. Went to Nairobi, and I was able to use my Swahili that I learned, and I was like, and to see the people and the foods and things like that.
there's nothing like stepping your feet on that ground.
Yeah, they said caribou to me, and then I flew from Nairobi to Mombasa, and and I met some good people there, very friendly. I wrote them my tattoos and things, and I went to the mosque, and I said, man, they trying to say when I was studying Islam all this time, and then I went there and actually prayed at a mosque in Africa. I mean, it really touched me, man. And I was like, and I took tours and walked around, and I have. Let me show you something real quick. you know,
East Africa. You and S Man have convinced me.
yeah, this is my camcorder, and I haven't. I'm gonna have my DVDs. I mean, this is a camcorder I took, and I took a picture with it. I still got it, and I'm gonna upload everything and share some of this with you guys. This is a little camcorder I took with me, and I have this, and I have a whole bunch of cassette tapes. I have about I think 20 of these, and it's it's about my trip, and yeah, hours and hours and hours of it. So and I felt like there's no feeling you can't describe it. I'm a grown 50-year-old man shedding tears like this. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I want you all to experience this stuff, man. It's not a joke, man. This is serious. This is a serious movement here. And it's not something you can take for the faint of heart, man. You gotta be on it. You can't, you can't. It has to be in you. Like I said, I slept in a mud hut, okay, with the Swahili family one night, and they slaughtered a chicken for me. All they had, that's all they had.
I definitely hope that some of you guys watching this can experience this. It's something else, man. It's something else when you can go to Africa and everybody looks like you. When you got people who look like people who you never seen before, but you know you've seen them from somewhere. That experience is
Yeah,
it really is.
it is. I just was like, every place I went, they was taking us to their house, let us stay at the house, and giving us brotherly hospitality, and we eating out the same plate and stuff, and stuff that I experienced here. Being treated like a second-class citizen because of my faith and the color of my skin. And then I go over there and I'm treated like I'm supposed to be treated, like the man that I am, and the man that people that we are. We're not animals. We're not monkeys. We're not dogs. We're not no damn slave, man. We got languages. We got cultures. We got civilizations. We got everything. And these people treat us like damn dogs, man. And I was scrutinized for going to Africa, with the military and my job. So I can't go to Africa, man. What's up with that? Probably had me on surveillance or whatnot. You never know, man. I'm like, yo, man, black man can't go to Africa. And I'm like, it's, and that's why I'm so serious about this right now, this movement, man. It's not a joke, everyone. This is not a joke, man. Our lives are in danger here. We're living in hell, man. No matter how hard we try and how hard we work and how hard we do things, it's never gonna be right, man. You know what I'm saying? The system is meant to keep us in a cage, man. And it's not, and it's like they don't want us to experience what I experienced, man. I spent 3 separate trips there. But some of the reasons why I didn't go back, because I have security clearance and stuff, man. They always scrutinizing us for traveling and stuff, and they thinking we doing things bad, and and I'm like, man, I'm just trying to learn my culture, my religion, and my ancestral, And then I found out I was 10%, Kenyan later on. I'm like, man, my ancestors are giving me, like, sitting, I mean, their prayers are being answered. And I was like, why? It's just, Africans on the continent, you got to realize, man, we are the same as you are, but we just not in the place where you are at.
I mean, I'm sorry for cutting in, but it's so frustrating when we're all the same. We're all on the same team, but we spend so much time fighting each other for absolutely disgusting reasons. And it's disgusting because as I'm sitting here, if I'm sitting here insulting you, whatever I'm saying about you, I'm saying that about myself. And guess what? When I waste my time hating you for whatever reason, we have those other people who are laughing, literally going like this, like, aha, it's working.
Yeah.
We have so much energy. I just wish some of us would really wake up.
I wish it was.
Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't care if this is live, man. They need to see this live, man. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I done already lived, 50 years on this earth, you know what I'm saying? And from what I grew up in, like I said, I see Melanated Moses on there, African Millennium Mama. I see all the people on there, and I'm like, much shop, peace and blessings be upon you all, and who about to experience this stuff, man. It's like you're going back to things that was taken from you, man. And it's like you're going back to we the original people on this earth, man. We created all this stuff. This whole civilization was created by us, man. And they try to take that from us. Okay. Everything that they advanced was off our backs. even before we came, before we left. And for us to have this urge to go back home, it's not by chance. This is real, man. This is not by some dream or from fantasy, man. This is spiritual. We are spiritual people, okay? And we can't be denied our rights of passage, our rights to go back home, man. We can't be denied. It doesn't mean that we are traitors. We're not traitors, okay? A traitor, we have been betrayed by being killed and lynched and by being put in jail for no reason, extra sentences, okay? All right. And I'm like, there's a lot of things that we got in our system that is built up in us, okay? And we got to let it out. I'm telling you right now, I see some people over there who just subscribers with me who are over there right now. And you got to, and I'll be over there again, you guys have to, and I see this queen right here. She's seeing a young queen like this, man, doing this channel with this old man like this, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, because she's been here, she's seen the States, she knows what's going on. People like Brother Amar, they know what we're going through. And, and it's like, even recently before I retired and resigned and all this, I was going through some struggles there, man. And it's like, wow, you should go to Paris. You should go to London. You should go this. You should go that. Why do you have a problem with us going to Africa, man? You don't want us to see the truth. And that's the problem. You don't want us to see, they don't want us to see who we really are.
Yeah.
Okay? They put all these fake images and all this stuff that's going on and saying this is savages. They're living in the jungle, walking around butt naked and stuff, whatever. That's the only image. There's certain tribes do that. So what if they do, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I recently about those tribes that we make fun of and we say that they're untouched. They're the best people out there because they're untouched. They're not influenced. They're not moved by money. So they're actually the least corrupt people out there. But they'll have you thinking that that's bad. That's somebody who goes out and kills a cow, eats it the same day. That's savage. Why don't you go to a grocery store and get your meat?
Yep.
See, everything that we do to them, it's backwards.
It is.
And then we internalize that.
Mm-hmm. But then you see these TV shows called Naked and Afraid, whatever the hell a TV show, the Zulus walking around half butt naked and trying to survive in the jungle. Give me a break. Go to the caves and in the climate where you were born and see if you can survive in a cold climate and icicles and stuff and polar bears. That's what you try. You can't hang where we the only people can hang like that. That's the reason why you use us to go to the interior to capture our people. Okay. Because you couldn't really do it on your own. You know damn well you can't survive. And now you can't survive like that, taking all those pills and stuff to get yourself hyped up and stuff. We don't need all these damn shots. You need it.
Malaria and yellow fever, those are actually the what do you call it? That's actually Africa's protection. Those diseases are Africa's protection.
Exactly. That's what it is. Exactly. Because your diseases can't kill us off. You killed native here off, but you couldn't kill us off with your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, and the reason, and I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, why I didn't make that plane trip on Tuesday. I was at the airport, I had my stuff ready. I didn't see my mama's grave. And I'm gonna see my mama's grave before I go. And that's one thing I forgot about doing. And I'm like, not forget, I was so in a hurry to get the heck up out of here. I'm seeing my mom. I always see my mama's grave too. And I know that they were stopping that. The questions they were asking at that damn ticket counter was like they was questioning me personally, like they knew something about me to a certain extent. And I was like, you know what? It's probably the COVID and all this. I'm like, I mean, and so PCR, COVID, whatever, but it was a legitimate reason, but it seemed like it was something behind it because they know once I set foot on that continent, it's gonna be on. I'll be vlogging. I'm gonna show you all what's going on there, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want that to happen. And if I was over there gang banging, trying to do some hustling and bustling and stuff like that, they'd let me on that plane. Oh, COVID. You don't need a COVID test. Hmm?
They will give you a sponsorship. If you were there gang banging, they'll be like, hey, can we support you? Can we give you this Nike sponsorship? Can we help you out? But when it comes to doing something natural, no.
Yep, that's true. You laugh on it now, but it's true. And I was like, like I said, I'm gonna see my mama's grave, and that's what I need to do, and that's what I'm gonna do before I leave. And I was like, man, I knew, but I was like, but that's the truth. Look, you got a guest, special guest.
Hi, Queen.
Hello, hi guys. I just a quick one because I'm on a friggin' Zoom call with London office, so just give me a quick minute. Okay. THC. Listen, brother. We salute you. You know, like you're paving the way for so many people. It's such a deep spiritual movement.
Yeah.
And I think that you should, like go with your heart, you know what I'm saying? These people, we all need each other. And I think that's the thing that we need to get a grip on, mentally and spiritually, that we can't do this by ourselves. And we need some leaders to go ahead and pave the way. So I commend you for following the call of your ancestors, because it's not an easy call. Like some of us are leaving, like you're leaving behind some stuff, at the end of the day, in order to pave a new way for yourself and your family and the heritage of your ancestors and build legacy, And the thing is, I'm sometimes I jump on other people's channels and, like some African YouTubers, some other people, YouTubers, just to get a balance. And I got to be honest with you, not everybody's as humble as you. That's the first thing. And people hear the call and they've heard it for years and they've not done anything about it. They're still here suffering and struggling. So, just go with your heart. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact that just the couple of times that I met you here, the melanated Mr. Mosley, Aisha, just meeting you guys and the spirit of you guys is enough for me. You know what I'm saying? To know that I'm making the right decision to get myself together and go home. And I know that there's a lot of things against us here because we are at war here, and for those people that think that are listening, wherever you are, if you think it's so amazing in the UK and Paris and France and Spain and all of that, I've lived there. It's not all it's cracked up to be, I'm telling you. Make sure that when you take your money and you decide to take a trip somewhere, make it be Africa first, if you can do that. If you can't do that, go to the Caribbean. Because I'm telling you, living in all those institutional places like that they, paint the picture of it's paradise. Paris is not paradise. Spain is not paradise. I've lived and I've worked there. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. It's not what you see, the flowers and the rainbows on the TV. It's not that. And trust me, I know, because I'm from there. You know what I'm saying? So it's not anything great. Take your money and your family and go home, because those same people that you think that love you, they smile in your face and then they spit on the ground. So just make sure that you're making the right decisions for yourself. Everybody's got I understand nobody can't leave right away. I can't neither. But at the same time, we need people like the people that's leaving now. We need them to leave now and pave the way for us. Because the thing is, if you don't have a connection with somebody that's from Africa and you're not humble, you're going to go there and make some mistakes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, we don't want to waste time, because we have to be smart about our time, and how we utilize our time. So I commend you for, making this move. Good for you. And you know what? You're reaping the seeds that you've sown, brother. You've worked hard. You know what I'm saying? You've delivered. You haven't just got up yesterday and said, oh my God, I've done nothing and I need to go to Africa. You've done some stuff in your life, and you can teach us about the reality of what it is. So
thank you.
Peace and love into you. Peace and love. I'm telling you, It's a good thing you're doing, and and you know, go and have fun. You know, those people are gonna love you out there. You're such a fun guy. They're gonna love you out there.
Yeah.
You know.
I had
So peace and blessings, everybody. I gotta jump off, but I'm trying to listen and, you know, do the other stuff. But peace and blessings.
peace and blessings to you, Queen.
All right, kings and queens. One love.
One love. Thank you. Thank you. As I'm going through these comments on the side, thank you all, family, on the chat room. I'm like, wow. I really just started glancing over there and a couple of times, but thank you. And I describe Africa. You know, my going there. It was like a dream, like something that was in me to go, and it happened in my early 30s, and I was like, wow. I was surreal, and I couldn't explain it to people. You know, on the continent, you got to realize that we have an urge, we have a calling, and we have desires to be there with you all, and to work together and build together, and to get, you know, what our experiences that we have here that we learn, and to elevate it to a different level if we able to, because African brothers and sisters on the continent are very, very intelligent people. And I saw, as I said, when I met the African brother when I was going to college, man, the brother was smart as heck. He spoke like 3 languages, and I was like, wow. And so that's one thing that helped me too, is learning the languages really, really helped change my mindset too. Once you start learning a language, it changes you internally. It makes you into a different person. And when I took a class, I forgot the name of the class. I went to UT Austin for a little bit before I transferred to Long Beach State. But it was oh man, I forgot the name of the class. But it's about like community culture stuff. And I mentioned to my professor, you know, because they talk about a lot of the Chicanos. Some Chicanos don't speak Spanish anymore. They just speak English. They don't learn their Spanish culture, whatever, the Spanish language. And I told him, I said, but isn't the language important? He's like, no, the language is not important. I mean, they still can be Mexican, whatever, without the language. And I disagree with him sternly. I said the language is very important. And even in the Mexicans in the class said, you know, the hell you talking about? Because once they lose that language, they lose a little bit of themselves too, because that language, it helps who they are. And not saying that they're Spanish, okay? They actually lost their language. The Native Americans are who they are, but they just got colonized by Spain. That's who the Mexican people are. But learning those languages, when I started learning Swahili, I learned it in college. Took a semester at first, and there was some people in there. There was some people from the Arabian Gulf, Saudi Arabia, there, the African Gulf, and there was African Americans in there. They said, "Man, you eating this up?" I said, "Man, I don't know. I just start learning, and then it kind of like, and the more I start speaking it, the more I start to change myself, my perception of how I see things." And as I said, and then one of my instructors, he's African American from Compton, and Dr. Ikaweba Bunting. He started off 5 years in Kenya, then he spent 20 years in Tanzania and Arusha, and he's a professor at Long Beach State and in Compton College. Matter of fact, I went to Compton College for a semester to study Swahili, and he's fluent in it. You know, of course, you got 8 kids and all that, and just to hear this brother tell his story was amazing too. People were Pan-Africanist back in the day, but I feel that the calling wasn't there at that time for all of us to do it. But now, at this 400 years has passed, I think this is when it's actually going to really kick off for us. You know, a lot of the Marcus Garvey's about to do it. You know, they're taking reins right now. And go ahead, Queen.
Oh, yeah, I was just listening to what you were saying.
Yeah.
One question I did have though, because You know, we all seen on your channel that you went to the Gambia and that you enjoyed it, that you loved it so much. You met a whole bunch of awesome people. Why did you decide to settle in West Africa? Because you did go to East Africa and you had great experiences. Not trying to be divisive, but why did you decide to settle in West Africa?
You know, I know that I visited East Africa several times, and I always want to go to West Africa. And to me, I mean, there's a lot of, can I say, East Africa, you have a combination of different African tribes there, of course, intermixing with the Arabic tribes that are African Arabs. And you also have a lot of Indians there. You have different people there. And I learned Swahili, of course. But back in the day when I read Roots, what inspired me to become a Muslim was reading that was one of the books was reading that book Roots, and I found out about Kuta Kinte.
Yeah.
And so, and then one of my co-workers, he used to go to the Gambia all the time. So I started watching the YouTube, of course. I watched all the YouTubes, whether they're good or bad, what I'm saying? I was watching them. And at that time, they were good. Whoever they're bad now, but they were good. They wasn't all the rhetoric that you hear wasn't there, okay? And at that time, it was like, hey, you got housing people can stay at. You got this, and hey, I couldn't find any place to stay, so I was like, oh, I'll stay here. So, but I got that that information was I know what you're saying that I said because he was posting stuff like fly fishing in the Gambia. I'm like, Gambia, I keep hearing about the Gambia. Watching Bag and Black Sit and stuff, and a brother. So yeah.
Oh, this chair is kind of. I gotta hold on.
The comedic relief I need in my life.
I have a special bat phone. Like whenever someone says Compton, it like rings, right? I have to get the call on. Okay. I'm sorry. You can go ahead and proceed, brother. I'm just here to support you. So
no problem.
I'll just sit back and listen to you, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So, I found out that I was Mandinka from the Gambia, Senegambia, and I said, wow, because and I already knew I was Nigerian as well, Sierra Leone too. But it was just something about the Gambia that seemed like it attracted me. And I started listening to African music more, and prior to me going, especially the song Mother Africa is Calling. Black Set has that one. And African Picnic song, Black Set. And I was also listening to a lot of different things. I would listen to it while I'm in the shower, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm doing it. All I started thinking about was Africa, Africa, Africa. Then I started thinking about the Gambia, the Gambia, the Gambia. And I was like, it just seemed like it was the place that I could start, fresh as far as that my African experience. And the fact that our ancestors mostly came from the West Africa part was a had made a huge impact on my decision. And so I went ahead and tested the waters. I said, let me go ahead. But like I said, I made sure I prayed very hard. And I said, if anything goes wrong, if I say anything wrong, if I do anything good, make sure that I'm forgiven and the blessings will come for what I did good. And that I would engage with the people and that I would learn. I would be humble and that I would, because I didn't know the whole the demographics of it. I didn't really study too much like I would normally study for a country when I travel. I just went by the spirit. I just went by my faith, and I felt like, yeah.
Too long ago, right?
What's that?
It wasn't too long ago, right? Because your first visit to the Gambia was very recent, wasn't it?
It was recent. Yeah, I got there early July, and I left late August. So I spent close to 2 months there, and I was and it was, and so when I experienced when I was on a plane coming from Brussels and I heard all those African languages, and it reminded me of us coming back from the diaspora, coming back on planes. We departed on ships, but we come back on planes. Although those are brothers and sisters that were coming back home to visit and whatnot, I felt like I was part of them. I felt like I was with them. I was sitting right next to a brother. I don't know where he was from, what tribe, what ethnicity, what ethnic group. But I was like, man, I'm sitting next to a brother from the motherland, and they really couldn't tell. Actually, for my trip from DC to the Brussels, there was some Mandinka family that was sitting with me, and actually they were quarantined with me too. And it was like, man, because I was talking to them on the plane, and so when I landed, I was like, okay. I just felt like a sense of calm, and my T-Mobile it turned to AfriCell, so it was AfriCell. I'm like, I'm AfriCell. I'm in Africa for real. And so, and then when I landed in there and got off the plane, you know, I was just cool. I wasn't feeling like I was under any kind of pressure or nothing. Only concern, I was like, hope they don't send me back because of all this stuff going on, with this COVID stuff, and the fact that I'm a Muslim. And I was like, man, you know how they try to put some type of jacket on us, like saying that we are bad people. We're gonna go over there and be a radical. Radicalism is not in my mindset at all, So peace is in my mindset. But they were even the immigration was like, welcome, I was like, oh, thank you. And I got my visa stamped and everything. Went over there, waited for my bags, and the security, the brothers had them in some type of assault rifles, man. They were hardcore. And I was like, yo, all the people like strong and stuff. I was like, dang, they were like, and the dude, because I had my backpack front and back. I only had 2 backpacks, black backpacks with me. And they were like, oh, this brother on point. They were like, you mean desire me? Yeah, okay, cool. This left me alone. And then I seen so many people, and then the 2 weeks quarantine was there, and met some good people, very good people. And then when I got out, it was on, man. I said, I'm home now, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I did. If I didn't have to come back, I would not have came back. If I didn't have to come back, I would not have came back. Trust me, I would not have. I had to come back. You saw my stories. You saw all that stuff, man. I would not have came back. And I would not. And this trip, it's going to be the same. It won't be no need to, unless for visits. This is a permanent move for me. So it won't be for visits, and it's going to be for visits, family, whether or not. But this is a move for me, because we've been always told. I mean, because when I look at all these continents, okay, the North American continent, European, they all have trees, sun, and buildings and things like that. Everybody's living a life like everybody lives a life. Everybody's eating, everybody's working, everybody's doing something. But with the continent, it's nothing like that. Nothing like that feeling of seeing it, people hustling, bustling, and just the smells and the people with the food on the side of the road, and go to Serakunda Market, Gambia, going to the turntable, going here, sucking on the wanju juices and the baobab tree juices. I was like, it didn't mean it wasn't. It didn't have to be modern for me. It didn't have to be. I saw my people, how one of my ancestors. I envisioned my ancestors. I had visions there too. Every time I walk, sometimes I see somebody that I think I know, and then they're gone. And I was like, and sometimes it was like a mirage. Sometimes, and I felt like, they welcomed me home. I'm not gonna cry again, okay? And they welcomed me home, and I was like, I felt like I was so I took the good and the bad. Okay. People talk about roads, people talk about the holes in the wall. uh, I don't have to say anything about any sorry, I had to stretch a little bit.
I had to flex.
Thank you for helping me out, everybody.
That's something in my eye. This is crazy.
I don't know what's going on, everybody.
West Coast bugs out here is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, family. Good morning.
I need a chiropractor.
Yeah.
I need a chiropractor.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Oh
I got my family over here. What's going on, fam?
gosh. Good morning. Good morning. Oh.
Nothing gangster. There's nothing gangster.
No. It's all peace. It's all peace.
Yeah.
What's good? I had to come on. I was like, oh, Compton and Long Beach. What's missing?
Yeah, now you know you're in trouble, right? Okay. Yeah.
This has been beautiful. I would just sit back. Hi, African Millennial. How are you, sweetie?
Thank you, sister.
Thanks for letting me join. I just wanted to say hello. This is my new family right here. Excuse the noise. They're vacuuming in the back. But I feel all your emotions, man. When you were talking about the feeling of landing on African soil and feeling treated, I was just explaining it to my mom. It's a feeling of being welcome somewhere that you're not even from, but then you're here and you're from here, and it's just absurd. You don't realize, like, I just told my mom, I gave her an example. I'm like, would you go get gas, for your car at at 9 o'clock at night? And she was like, no, and I'm like, that's how you can tell you adapt your life to the situation, the circumstances. Like, it's not safe. So, there's certain places I don't go because of experiences that I've heard. It could be on the news, it could be a friend, people getting pulled over in Torrance, or people in Malibu, telling you, oh, get out of here, go back to where like little stuff like that. We don't have to deal with that, but we accept it because it's just regular. Okay, don't go over there. This area is some, special people that don't like us. And I realized when I took the totality of it all, I'm like, I stay in my little, like African Millennial was saying, there's people who don't leave their city, but there's people who don't leave where they're from because of historical, like, trauma or community trauma. So it's like, I've never been pulled over by the police, but everybody I know has been pulled over. My dad, my in certain areas, it's like they don't want you here. They send you a message. So I don't go over there. Just, it's subconscious. I don't even think about it. It's just like, I don't want to go to Malibu. It's too far away from my people and I might feel unsafe or uncomfortable. Why should I feel uncomfortable in my own freaking country? That makes no sense. And we accept it and we adapt to it and we adjust. So we don't even notice. We don't even notice that we're adapting to all these things. Someone I went to school with got hemmed up by the police because she was with the Mzungus, thinking she was the Mzungu, and they didn't like that. And she got cavity searched for a traffic stop.
Ooh.
So I'm like, nah, man. I used to ignore the things that would happen to black men and boys because I was like, well, maybe they're in a gang or something. Maybe it's them, or you make an excuse because I'm their other, so I'm safe. I'm a female. But then stuff started happening to women, and I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And it could be little microaggression stuff, like just them, oh, did you steal this, or following you around the store, and you think that's not a big deal. I'm still alive. But like, that stuff chips away at you ever so subtly. And I just been compiling all the negative things that have been happening. And when you were talking about when the Happy Companion was talking about the crack epidemic and everything, and I'm just like, it was a war zone. Now that I have a kid, I'm like, dang, I know people that have been shot and killed. I know people that have been shot and paralyzed. I know people like women who have guns pulled on them and just going home, like that kind of stuff. You just think, okay, it happens, but it didn't happen to me, so I'm good. No, it affects us in our that PTSD, the emotions, things we carry around with us. And it's not until you go to another place where it's people that look like you and you can exhale like, oh my gosh, my blood pressure went down.
Yeah.
My anxiety is like going away. My chest pains, my like it's you don't know until you get out of it what else is out there, and that we're entitled to that. We're entitled to be pulled over by the police and they just want $5 and let us go. We deserve better. We just didn't think it was out there because they told us this place was the best place, and then everybody else coming from abroad thought this place was the best place, so they come. No, my country is war torn. I'm not going back to El Salvador. I'm not going back to Nicaragua or wherever, Sierra Leone or something. And we hear their stories because those were the individuals that had circumstances. Oh no, this is the place. This is the place where you could be a doctor, lawyer, whatever, successful, but they chip away at you and it kills you. I see people, I work in South Central, and I see people that I work with all their ailments, struggling to get to work, make ends meet, pay the rent, pay their mortgage, and still have to come to work and be like, oh, my nephew got shot. I had a client the other day. My son got shot 5 times. I need these benefits. Won't he won't. And it's just regular. It's just, and I'm looking at it like this stuff is happening to all these people. Like, what's so great about this place again? So I'm ready. I'm scared, but I'm ready. I mean, it's a big thing what we're doing. So, you can't take it lightly, but it's time to go.
It is.
It's time to go. We're gonna get away and have the best time being normal and being treated fairly and being loved on. Like, us women get so much attention outside of here. And you're like, dang, I'm kind of fly. I didn't even know. It's a beautiful thing.
The standards aren't based on European look too. That's one reason too. Like it is here too. They see the queen for what a queen is.
How do you? And that's something that I've always had. That always kind of boggled me is because here in the West, whenever we see a certain standard or whatever of beauty, if you will, or in a European standard, but they're trying to be like you the original woman. So it's like, are you mimicking yourself? But then it's kind of weird. It's kind of like you're like going in forward and reverse at the same time, because even when they would have commercials and things like that, Barbie dolls, even young black kids before, they wanted little Barbie dolls where they can have blonde hair and blue eyes and stuff. But then you see people have, you see them going to the beach, putting on tan and lotion and everything. They want to be just like you. They want to be augmented to look just like you. Everybody wants to be African until it's time to get them consequences to go along with all that stuff, right? So, just being, again, we have to deprogram ourselves from that. And what Brother THC was saying earlier, I didn't hop on or whatever because I had it must be allergies because I had some in both of my eyes. So anyway, but what you're doing right now, brother, I think when I began to start watching your channel, that put the icing on the cake for me, because I said, okay, now it's more official. I have a brother from almost literally like next door who can go out there and show me the good. Who, I think you and I are like kindred spirits and personalities. And I say that because you went over there humble. All you want to do is be able to connect with the people and shed yourself of what the West has totally done to us, what colonization, what everything has done to us. We come again from very similar backgrounds. We have experienced almost the same carbon copy situation. And to know that there is someone else in this world that has seen the same things that you have. someone in this world that sees the same thing that you have is just extra confirmation, like, you know what, I am not alone in this world. There is a reason that I need to go ahead and that I need to get out, that I need to go ahead and reconnect with my people. I don't want to live and die this way. And knowing that I have, I have gained a brother, I have gained a sister, and we'll be out there right around the same time. And just to know that life is going to resume back to normal the way that it should have been. And I can only imagine, just through all of my ancestors for a half a millennium, that at some point everything came to a head and we all had to meet at the same time just to relocate and be somewhere together. Our ancestors could have been eating out of the same plate. They could have been on the same ship. You know what? And for some reason, every circumstance in our life, it all culminated. It all came to one specific event where we all just said, you know what? Now is the time. And it really gets to me, and it gets me emotional, because it's like, man, it's many people that we love and care about that did not hear the call at the same time.
Yeah.
And I've said it earlier before. It's kind of like Noah's Ark. It's like that door is just opening up and it's closing, and it's like you're trying to pull as many people in as fast as you can, because you don't know when the very next situation, or you don't know what is going to happen. And you made that process a lot easier for me, brother, because you had that spirit of saying, I am going to be who I am. I am not going to compromise myself for anything or for anyone. And you put your energy and you bet it on yourself. You believed in yourself enough to say, you know what, if I have to go ahead and set up in a new place, I can go ahead and do that. I'll figure things out when I get over there. And when I saw how the ancestors were guiding you, it's like, okay, that's who's speaking to me as well, my brother. And everything just pretty much is coming and it's aligning. The only thing that I fear, the only anxiety that I have before I leave is something that's going to cause me to stay. That's the only thing.
You're right.
Seeing the unknown and stuff like that, I look forward to that, because I wake up every single day not knowing if I'm going to expire or if I'm going to inspire somebody else.
True.
Seeing that here. So my only anxiety up until this point has always been, okay, did I get the PCR test? Do I have this? Is everything going to be over there? Because I don't want anything to get in the way of saying, no, you can't leave. You have to have this, you have to have that. So I'm looking very forward to those unknown experiences and stuff, because that's how we had to live life here. We had to wake up every morning not knowing if you're going to make it into work, if your last hug or kiss is going to be that's going to be it, So there is nothing, I believe, that us, at least on this panel, or not, that we have not endured, that has not prepared us to even go on this journey and to be able to embrace and accept it. With myself, I'm a complex trauma survivor of many different things. I should not be here. And that's actually the name of one of my autobiographies that I'm writing. I shouldn't have been here, but the ancestors made me leave. And that's what it is. Because there are so many things that have happened where we should not be here, but we had the favor of our Creator and our ancestors. They saved us for this. It's almost as if we had to be battle tested just to be able to return back to the continent. We had to be battle tested. Any military will go ahead and do anything that they can to break you. Any military will put you in stressful situations so they can weed out the ones that cannot make it. And it's gotten all the way up to this point to where I have nothing but gratitude for everything that I have endured in life. The good, the bad, and the majority of it was the bad and the ugly. What it also allowed me to do is to see people and systems for what they really are. And it also caused me to evaluate how can I work in a system that is not poised to even want to benefit and help my own people. I had to learn to step out of that bubble, outside of that matrix, and say, no, you know what, damn it, you can have all of it. because I'm here for a greater reason. I'm here for a greater purpose, to be able to serve my people. And that's what it is. That's for me, that's what my life and purpose is to be able to serve my people. I've spent 41 years on this earth serving somebody that does not look like me,
Mm-hmm.
and got absolutely nothing from it. I have people, hey, are you voting today? I don't get into any of that stuff, but if you have absolutely nothing for me and my people, hell no. And to me, it's not selfishness, it's not arrogance. I had to learn that maybe I have not been loving myself for the longest, because I did not put myself right up there before everybody else.
True.
Because we began to get this thing in colonization, we begin to get this thing that, oh, well, that would be selfish if you did something for you and stuff. But off of our backs, off of everything that we have endured, every other culture has benefited. Where are those allies that turn around and then say, hey, wait a minute, the people who made it possible for us, this is what they need over here? Oh, ain't nobody doing that, right? So the instant that you want to speak about issues going on in African society, Black community, wherever you are, well, yeah, but what about everybody else? And my thing is at this point, I don't care. I think it's always been that way, but I had to get pissed off, and I had to get older and grown enough to say, so what? I don't care. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That is none of my damn business, because apparently everybody else can figure it out. But when it comes to me and my people, we still have a lot of, many of us are numb to just even having the desire to want to fight back. Many of us say, you know what? Well, maybe this is what was what the ancestors may have wanted for me, just to die, and maybe somebody else will come along and want to do something about it. I have to, if I'm going to create a legacy, it's going to take me to do the work. And I'm not really caring about if I don't see what the end result is. At least I know how far I went in my lifetime, so I can inspire someone else to go ahead and move forward and take it on. Because our ancestors didn't know that they were ancestors at that time. All they knew that they wanted was a better life for someone to come after. And you can only imagine how, when chattel slavery was going on, you had a slave that went to sleep one day. How you doing, sister? I see my little, okay. How you doing?
Nigga that.
And, yeah, and also when I get settled in or whatever, I do plan to adopt. My family plans to adopt when we over there, because I have no children of my own. So I'm all about African folks should also adopt African kids. Okay.
Yeah, real.
You should adopt African kids. I digress, because I saw your beautiful princess right there.
Thank you.
But I think this became so. 2020 just did something really weird and very, very different to the world, and I think it benefited us. The reason why, because many of us have never really had a lot. Many of us have seen things that people are now wanting to protest over. We've been telling people for the longest this is what's been going on. I don't know, it ain't nothing new to us. Do I need to, oh my God, we need to sit and have conversations. You invented racism, so why do we need to sit down and have discussions about it? Why do I need to tell you what you already know, what you're complicit in, right? So 2020 has been this thing to where it has to be very unapologetic and really not care about how others may sort of take what my journey is. Only African people know what African people go through, right? And it's also up to us when we go over there. I'm not going to browbeat anyone, but you definitely will know where I came from, what my culture was here, and what it was that I had to endure. But the exchange is, like how Brother Happy Companion said, is that we need to be able to see, we need to be able to know what was taken away from us and what was left behind. Because it's coming full circle. That's what it is. If anything in this lifetime, you want to go ahead and complete as much as you can and be able to get some answers to some questions that you've always had. And when it comes to African folks, I mean, here in the diaspora, I grew up in families where what happens in this house stays in this house. We don't talk about this. This is considered blasphemy if you want to go out and look for more information about self and things like that. So, it was almost like an art to where we sort of took over by continuously colonizing ourselves to kind of stay in place. It was like on autopilot where you didn't need an overseer anymore. And And what it is that I need to do is when I get my family over there, say, look, this is where we're going to be forever. There is no, we can change our daily interactions and maybe change a few understandings about people that come from the West. And I will say maybe in the last couple of months, we've had some situations that have really given a black eye to what it is that we intend to do when we get over there to the continent. So we need to be able to go over there and represent ourselves of who we truly are. And I think, again, I'm always saying, for the folks that's on this panel, we just have a different, it's just like a different kind of vibe that I'm getting. I tune into just about everyone's channel. I will watch and see what it is they have going on. I've unsubscribed to quite a few different platforms and everything like that.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah, I've unsubscribed, and
likewise.
I got like someone had left a message on one of the comments or whatever on my channel, and they actually thought that I really cared, but they had said, you know, I noticed that you had unsubscribed to a certain YouTube person, and I said, okay, so what? I'm a grown ass man, for one.
Exactly.
If I want to subscribe to you, we have this artificial world where that really means something. If I give someone a thumbs down or if I unsubscribe, I'm old school. If I don't know you personally or something, we can sit down and we can dialogue. But you know, people get it really out of context if I don't follow someone or if I unsubscribe. I'm a grown man. I pretty much do what I want. So I really don't care about comments like that. You got the wrong person. Yeah, I don't know. You kind of probably confuse me with somebody who cares about stuff like that. That's just kind of my energy. I'm a loving and caring person, but you're definitely not going to try to shame me or guilt me for having my own opinion. That's who I am.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I'm supposed to
You
care.
don't
Like,
have to be desperate. Like,
oh my God, I need a thumbs up. I don't care about that.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I unsubscribed and unfriended on Facebook as well. I did both things.
I happen to have a YouTube channel, but I wouldn't say I'm a YouTuber. I don't know if that's if that's saying the same thing. I just happen to have a channel, but I'm not a YouTuber.
No big deal. Just have a channel
on YouTube, right? And I think people kind of get that like a little confused and stuff.
This is not your bread and butter here.
Yeah, not just that, but I mean, I like the fact that we're able to connect and be able to see faces and stuff and have those kind of discussions, because when I was growing up, the only thing we had closest to this was like a party line where you would actually call on the phone and you'll be talking to different people and stuff from all over, and then you run up your phone bill, but I do like platforms where you actually get to visibly see people where you don't have to be in the same spaces and stuff. So that's something I really want to expand on when I actually get over to the continent, is to be able to have a platform where we can have folks from the West be able to just speak with the locals and stuff like that, and just kind of have a marriage of the two, where we can exchange ideas and culture. And in this day and age, it has to be that way, because you can't blame it on, well, I didn't know anymore. Because all you got to do is look it up. So, I see my sister over here, Sister Afro Millennial Mama. I learned a lot from you as well.
Oh wow, thanks.
Yes, I do. You had your channel before me, but but I'd already kind of saw your channel. Lord, I was a watcher like everybody else, but to actually have the opportunity to have met both you and Brother THC, it's really made it a lot easier for me. Yeah, because I have a new brother and I have a new sister.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual.
Live background.
I'm sorry?
Saying the feedback, the other YouTube channel in the background.
There's somebody watching. We get some feedback. Oh, that was her. It was Africa.
Yeah, my mom is watching it on the TV. Let me go turn it off. Hold.
Is your mama watching Boys in the Hood?
I know somebody need to watch that movie, whoever haven't seen it, because that will certainly describe life how a lot of us on this channel grew, you know what I'm saying, grew up in. And like I said, that really got emotional. That movie was very emotional to me. And like I said, people say, you know, Gambia is a poor country, this and that, whatever. You know, I grew up poor too. So it may not be on the same level, but I understand poverty. I understand when you can't eat, you don't have any food. I understand that. You know, lights is off and the lights shut off. You know, the water bill not paid, there's no water. I understand that. I live that. So, you know, and that's why when I was over there, everybody, you know, this is that, man, come on.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
We're the
I'm not going to cry about that. I done already cried about that before, you know what I'm saying? I really didn't cry because I thought that was part of life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, hey, we go to school today because you're going to get that free lunch and that free breakfast.
Yep.
And in summer school, in summer, you go to the parks, get that free lunch. And that's
Yep.
just the way it is. And it's like, you know, and we think it's just a part of life. And
We
so
would go
when I was over there, it wasn't no shock to me. I'm like, you know, and I'm not saying it's good, but I was able to accept that. And it's like, I'm not going to just die. Oh, I don't have this type of luxury. No, I'm happy with it. Even the plot of land I got, it's not luxurious, big old plot and excuse my language, this and no, I'm like, I'm humble. I'm simple. I'm gonna keep it like that and build from there, you know, because there's no need for that. I'm just happy. Look, I was just happy to be there during that time. And I think I saw that. And I think everybody here is equal to me. That's why I click the numbers of subscribers I got on my channel. I don't need to, people need to, you know, I may put it up there again sometimes, you never know, but people may ask me. But I feel like we all are trendsetters in our own way. We feeding off each other all the time. And I think that that's important, that we get to nourish each other, love each other, keep each other in our prayers, and try to make sure that we learn from our mistakes. Like Malele Mosley, it said exactly PCR test on the text you sent me. I didn't see that really. I saw COVID-19. I'm like, I'll take COVID test. They didn't mention anything about the PCR test when I was at that place to take the COVID swab test. And then when I went there, they said, yeah, there's a PCR test. Oh, what's a PCR test? What is this? Look, this says right here. This is COVID-19. What the hell, PCR test? And then I'm like, oh. But, you know, as I said, things happen for a reason, you know. And then this West Coast connection is on point, though. You know, it's on point right here.
Well, y'all got to put me on game about the test, though, because I didn't hear about that.
Okay.
We got another test we got to take.
Oh, yeah.
kind of water y'all over there.
I'm
What's
sorry,
that?
you know, we stretch about here, like in the West. It's called West Coast yoga. So, yeah, that's West Coast yoga. You know, you do a little crane dance and everything. You know, sometimes I pop my collar and sometimes it pops me back. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Oh man!
Sorry, you know that's I used to.
And let me ask you this, Sister African Millennial, have you been to California before?
Have I been to California?
Yeah.
No, I've been to Phoenix, but I haven't been to Cali. No.
Okay, the place that really matters that you want to go to is Compton. Let me tell you.
No, do not go there.
I mean, you could fly through Inglewood because that's kind of like where the airport is. That's kind of
you have to come to Inglewood.
You can pass it up. I'm just saying, but you can go to Compton. Everything you need is in Compton.
No, it ain't.
Long Beach is okay. I mean, it's if you have any spare time, right? If you have any spare time, you can go to Long Beach or Inglewood. But Compton definitely, sister, is the place you want to check out.
City of Champions.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about like music and
LBC,
everything like that,
Long Beach probably.
The Lakers used to play here.
Yeah, that's cute. They used to warm up to Compton music, though. That's nice.
But we got a beach you can walk on, you know, swim. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. You know, Snoop Dogg came here, Cameron Diaz. I'm sorry. Oh, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Orange D.
West Side.
Who made it okay to make everything, to make saying what's really on your mind and everything and broadcast that to the world? I think it was Compton.
It's so dangerous. You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some tall, skinny dude, about 6'4", you know, he kind of set it on some things, LBC on the map. You know what I'm saying? He went to my high school, class 89. I'm class 88.
It was a guy from Compton that brought him out. That's nice. Played all of his beats.
Yeah, but his half brother was from Long Beach, you know, Warren G. And so that kind of impacted a lot of that movement because, you know, it helped the
Yeah.
sales come up a little bit when Warren G introduced that 6'4"
Oh,
guy
okay.
over the
I'm
Have you
sorry,
heard of
hey,
Paul
who-
Pierce?
Paul Pierce.
Never heard of that guy. Who is he?
Oh,
Never heard of him,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Pretty famous
Who
guy.
was the
Heard of-
first?
heard of-
Who was the
heard of
first
Mac
rap
10.
like hip hop billionaire? I don't know. Where did he come from? I don't know. Yeah,
I
it's all
think,
good. So Compton is where you want to go.
yeah,
Right.
you know, and you're right.
Yeah.
After you visit Long Beach, Compton is the place you should go. You know, maybe
Yeah.
Inglewood
But you're
too.
gonna
But you
land
got to
in the
visit Long
airport
Beach
in
first.
Inglewood.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where all
but-
the exhaust and everything goes from the planes and stuff anyway before they land. So you can go ahead and
Yeah.
stop in Compton and everything. That's where you're gonna get your soldiers from. Right? Yeah. Long
You can
Beach
also
is
take a
wonderful.
cruise to Long Beach seaport over there. You know, you don't have to catch a flight. You want to take a luxury cruise, you can go in Long Beach under the
Yeah.
cruise over there. You can go there. If you're scared of flying in planes, you know, you can go ahead and go to the
Yeah.
take a cruise. How about that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, that's kind of like Pacific water. I mean, it don't really look like, like the
And they
wonderful
got
beaches
those
in Hawaii. I mean, if you go to
factories
Long
or
Beach
whatever.
waters, let me tell you what you're gonna find. You're gonna find maybe a floating syringe, maybe a floating union worker. I mean,
the longshoremen.
yeah, you might find a longshoreman. You know what I'm saying? You might find all of that stuff when you go to Long Beach. Don't worry though. Yeah. I'm just being serious.
Does Compton even have trees?
Yeah, they do. They have palm trees. Yeah.
Okay.
And other kind of trees,
I wasn't
whatever
sure.
y'all into, but that's something else. But yeah, Compton has all that. And Long Beach and Inglewood have they have a good section of it, and then they have like a really like grimy sections, and I think that's what we all have. Compton is kind of like
grimy.
Yeah, Compton is kind of like a little in the middle and then grimy. It's gonna be like that. You guys have that wonderful, where you have safe areas.
That duality. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
about
you have that duality. We have
rough and rough.
Yeah, kind of like rough and rough. There are some beautiful areas and stuff in Compton that people really don't speak about. But yeah, nothing
funny.
like
I used to work in Compton, and I went to school in Long Beach, and I lived in Long Beach while I worked in Compton. So
yeah,
it's all love. Long Beach is like number 2, Inglewood's number 1, then Compton a little after.
Compton's like I don't know.
Compton got horses.
Yeah, because it was all farmland.
It
was all farmland. It was predominantly white before in Compton, and then with the right around like the late, maybe like the early '60s or so, when folks came from the South. Yeah, everybody pretty much left, and that's how Compton ended up being kind of gaining the reputation that it does now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Inglewood was all white.
Yeah,
it's turning back again.
Yeah, it is. But guess who I saw? I think it was '87 in concert at Skateland over there.
Oh, off of a Central.
Yeah, in Pirate Street over there. I was scared. I was scared as death. But I had to go see this group, EPMD.
Oh, EPMD.
You got to chill.
EPMD is dope. At least if they were my city, we kept them safe. And I will say that. And let me go ahead and admit, my queen, my wife, is from Long Beach.
Hey,
hey, that's a true queen. That's what I'm talking about. See,
so she upgraded you a little.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like it. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
So you didn't go to Death on Wheels? Remember Death on Wheels?
Oh my.
Yeah. Now let me tell you, Sister African Millennial, on the West Coast, we all live in LA County.
Yeah.
LA County is a very large county, and you have many different cities and stuff. So Inglewood, Compton, Long Beach, Wide South Central, that's all in Los Angeles County. So the way we would always sort of rank or outdo one another is who either had the best food spots or who had the best skating rinks and stuff. And for us growing up, skating rinks was that was a place where young brother, that's when you go and get your telephone numbers and talk to the ladies and stuff. That's where your very best fights were going to be always after, because even gang members had some time where they wanted to go ahead and get on roller skates. So you can imagine somebody getting fresh out of the county jail and say, man, I'm about to go to Skate Depot. I'm about to go to Skate Land. I'm about to go to
Yeah, Skate Depot.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember that. I
I
remember that.
couldn't go to World on Wheels. It was too grimy.
Yeah.
Skate Depot was Cerritos, wasn't it? Cerritos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
South Central or whatever, but Skate Depot, that was like Cerritos and stuff. But
yeah.
Those were the places that we would go because when you're young, you know, you can't go to the club and stuff like that. So usually that was a place where we would all kind of congregate as like teens and stuff. But I would love in the Gambia to be able to set up a skating rink. That'll be gangster.
Oh, that would be fun. I already packed my skates.
Oh,
and I don't have those new, what is it, the inline, whatever. I got the old school 4-wheel. You
have inline skates. You need to definitely keep it old school.
Okay.
Those are the memories that we're leaving with, and that when we get over there, we would love to, you know, when we take a look at certain things and say, you know what, man, I think right here, this building right here, this could be a roller rink or something like that. Because I'm not abandoning everything that I've learned over here in the West and all of my memories, because that wouldn't be me, right? But it's being able to appreciate what we have over here and be able to introduce some brothers and sisters to, you know, our flavor and how we get down over here in the West and stuff like that.
That's what's so beautiful about us being, like, all of us being together, because, you know, one person going, it's hard to influence, but people be like, what are you doing? That's weird. Or, you know, skates. But then if they see a group of us, like, this is our culture, it validates, you know, who we are and where we come from, which is beautiful.
Because if you're talking about Africa, you're talking about the Gambia, well, anywhere in Africa, there needs to be more escapes, because I'm telling you, unless you have money down there, your life is it can be pretty useless.
Yeah, mundane.
Because I mean, you can only go to the beach every day for so long. It's different when you're older and you're relaxing, but when you're young, and they need more outlets. They really do.
Yes. I noticed you talk about parks and things like that. Swings. I didn't see a lot of those as well.
Yeah, for kids, it's not really like focus on kids like how we are. Like, we're all about taking kids to Disneyland, and like we do a lot for kids to the point that we sometimes overextend ourselves. I notice, because I be feeling like every weekend she have a birthday party. Like, I don't have no time for myself. But I think if there's a balance, you know, having kids have a place to go. I think my friend showed me pictures in Senegal of a water park, like with the slides and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, they're starting to have more stuff like that. So I think those things are cool. And like little, like, you know how we have the Pomona Fair or little rides. So they did have something like that. Like, they have, I think it's Dakar Land or Dakar something. But my sister-in-law took her there. So I'm like, okay, there is places. It just depends on what area you are in, and, you know, how developed or, you know, international it is. So I was glad to see that, because we're used to having places to take your kids to enjoy, instead of just having them at the house and the adults are doing what they do and the kids are just kind of get ignored. You know, just they'll play with, I mean, kids can play with anything they find, but at the same time, it's nice to focus on them and like take them places. Yeah,
definitely. And I think my major focus is on anything that I want to try to do in the Gambia, as far as like setting up something for people to do. I mainly need to have it geared toward the locals and what the locals can afford. Because if we're talking a water park and stuff, that's going to be something I'm sure people that can afford that would be catered toward. A lot of, like, you know, like me, if I were to go there, I'd be a tourist. I might want to say, oh, let me go ahead and, you know, go to a water park or something. But I think my main focus, and that's something my mother and I, we had like a very long dialogue yesterday. And my mother, she's of the opinion, she says, I want everything where local Gambians can do anything I do. I want it for really the local Gambians, you know, tourists, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. But she
Mhm.
says everything that she really wants to have is just really for the locals,
True.
and
Got it.
for it to be able to be afforded. People that question that are people who have a capitalist mentality. So I've
Yep.
even had friends, how much you gonna make over there? Hopefully I make a difference. I think that's the only thing I really care about, because you know we can go over there and all we wanted to do was just really live comfortable and be able to create jobs and something for our Gambian brothers and sisters to be able to do. And it's going to take a lot of capital from people who are repatriating or even through tourism sometimes to be able to invest in certain things like that, because when people leave and go back home after a vacation, nobody really cares. Okay, that wonderful person that I met or that family that I met, what is life, how is life going to pan out, after that. But actually knowing that you're going to be living there, you have to think, okay, what am I going to do to work with my brothers and sisters and learn to be able to also, give back, and really like you're giving to yourself. So
Mhm. Yes.
That's what
You
it
know,
is.
I think that the best the best contribution that will come from the diaspora is just influence and exposure. People who haven't traveled outside of their country, people who haven't been exposed to different ways of life. I don't think it's something that we have to try that hard to be like, I want to do something. I mean, yes, we're wanting to help people, but there's ways that we help that are probably effortless that we don't even realize, because the help, that's the influence and the help and the saving that we get from them. They don't even try. They just, oh, you want some shea butter? Or no, this medicine is good for, a burn or a rash or mosquito bite. Things like that, we learn from it and we absorb it, and it helps us without them even knowing. And I think vice versa is true. Us being there and just showing a different way of how we do things, being ourselves,
mhm.
will have such a big impact, because it's not it's not like it's Tubob coming and doing stuff different, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
they're kind of weird. That's how Tubob are. We are them, and we'll be
correct.
seen as family. And then it's like, okay, this is how they wash dishes, whatever it is, or this is how they, And so seeing that we, even like, for example, I have a child. I have in-laws, and my husband and I have talked about this. Like, I have sister-in-laws, they have kids, brother-in-laws and stuff. And when we go on vacation, the things we want to do with our daughter, we take the nephews and nieces along. And there's things that they haven't done before, like go swimming in a pool or go to the beach. And I feel like the things that we expose my child to when we're there, we want to expose the other kids as well. A lot of times people may not think about, I want to put my kid in karate, or I want to things. People do things there, but it's not like the parents taking that initiative. It's more like, okay, the kid shows an interest, I'll support them, but it's more of an afterthought. So I feel like those types of things, we influence people without even knowing. So now these kids are exposed to swimming. Maybe they're gonna like swimming and they want to join the national swim team. So
Mhm.
I think it's not. I think helping or contributing is not something that we're gonna have to try so hard to. Okay, let me figure out. I think easing into the society and learning how they do things and seeing how people live, and then being ourselves in the process and just sharing and exchanging is monumental. Because even the traveling that I know we all have traveled to different places, you pick up things along the way. Every time you go somewhere, you're like, and it expands your mind. And I think the mental part is the most powerful thing. And
Mm.
just being exposed. Even my friend, my close friend, that's Senegalese, has a daughter, and she was gonna perm her hair. And I just said she wanted to do it because of it was painful to comb it, and she was crying. And I said, no, just use some water, some shea butter, mix it together. I'll show you how to do it. Because for our culture here in America, Black women in America, hair is like gold. And we learn about it. And these are things that maybe got lost with the colonialism. And just me doing that saved her daughter from getting a perm and losing all her hair, because we've been through that. So we share our experiences living in this society where we're right next to the Tubab and Muzungu, and we know them like the front of our hands. But I think that it'll come naturally and organically, the contributions that we have. That's why I'm so glad that it's groups of us going to different places. There's a girl that I came across moving to Benin. There's another person that is moving to another lady that's in Namibia, I think. And I just feel, and a guy in that I started watching, he's in Nigeria, and everybody's showing their experiences, and that spread of knowledge. You see how all that sharing has influenced us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna have a ripple effect. I think that's gonna be so beautiful, so beautiful. I don't think we have to. I think just being who we are is gonna change so much.
Good. Good.
And I think it's, you know, it's also divinely inspired, I think, for many of us, because we're seeking more intrinsic type of things, you know, when we get to the continent, and you have maybe a few from the continent that want to have, you know, the things that we're walking away from.
Yeah.
I think psychologically, there are many things that will kind of force us to want to go ahead and leave. And that part I understand, but it's nothing here that can ever convince me to remain. I've family and friends. You know, I have my mechanic. He did some, I had to get some extra parts for my vehicle in case I don't have access to it out there. And I've had my mechanic for over 20 years. And when I let him know, he kept thinking that I was going to just go out there to visit for a few months and everything. And I said, no, I'm leaving. And here he is. I mean, he burst out like in tears and everything. You know, you thinking mechanic, you thinking macho, you know, greasy hands and tools and stuff. You know, I actually had to console my mechanic. And, you know, and I did not know that my family, who's known him for that long, meant that much to him. And he was trying to do everything that he could. Well, what did you sell this other car? You know, all these little things to kind of help stall. You know, he would throw in like different things to kind of help me to try to get me to stay. But you know, when you have an ancestral call, when you say enough is enough, when an African says enough is enough, best believe. I mean, that's just pretty much it. And I will keep saying this until my dying day. Spaces like this, and having met everyone on this panel, and knowing moving forward that I know that I will continue to get to know everybody on this panel. There is nothing that will ever cause me to come back. I told people, I said, if you're gonna die, I need you to come and visit me and happen over on the continent, because I'm not coming back. You know, I'm not coming back.
Exactly. Feel you, brother.
I'm scared to come back.
Yeah, and
me too.
I'm ready for that new life. And I want to give a shout out to African Millennial. African Millennial, I've always watched your stuff. I'm a quiet observer, and I think you and I are also kindred spirits, because you do that very well, and I always pick up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I can always see the cogs going on in your head, the wheels turning and everything like that. And you're always thinking and stuff. And for me, I used to get teased about that when I was a kid, because I will always just sit back. My mind is just always just doing this and kind of watching and observing things like that. But you have a really excellent spirit about you, sister. And you always ask the right questions at the right time. And I told THC, we were having lunch, I think it was like last week. And I said, Sister African Millennial, I said, that is like a Q ship in the military, like a Q ship. It looks like a little small tugboat in the middle of the ocean and everything. It looks very unassuming, but underneath, what it does is they rip off like certain parts of it, and it has rockets, it has lasers, it has all these different things, because it looks very unassuming. And you have a certain power about you that I know that if you ever wanted to unleash that, and I don't mean like in a dangerous way, but it's it's because you're always thinking, and in your mind, it's kind of like, okay, I don't agree with that. So I can go ahead and challenge you. I can shut you down anytime I want. But I'm just going to go ahead and let you see, just to kind of let you get that point out and stuff like that. So you are a thinker, and definitely, I see a lot of things happening from your channel, like ridiculous. Like ridiculous in the sense that I see it expanding probably beyond just YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And I've told that on more than one occasion to THC, that you got something there. I don't know. You working on something. I don't know. I've been in law enforcement for years. You working on something. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna figure that out. But your approach is very non-threatening, and you have thought-provoking content and information. That's how I know that you definitely have, whether you see it or not, you have a potential that is beyond explanation that I see in you. And you're gonna have, yeah, I don't know. Let me start putting out content or something with some more stuff, because I don't know.
I think
got some things.
I think she has the best understanding of both worlds. And when she sneaks in on the lives, like you can't see her, but then you hear the voice and she sneaks in and drop the knowledge. Like that's when I be chatting in the comments. Like that is exactly what I was gonna say. Like she breaks it down, and like you said, it's a non-threatening, because people get heated and sometimes they don't listen. But you put the sugar in the medicine, and people receive it, whether they agree with you or not, or whether they're on the other side. But I think that and then you call it like it is. Like there's some stuff where I'm like, is she really taking that stance? But then when she breaks it down, I'm like, well, I can't blame her, because it makes perfect sense. I'm like, wow, and you've changed my opinion on a lot of things where I didn't,
a lot of people don't get it. Like it's like I love the diaspora so much, and I've been called a hater because sometimes I'll say things that they think that I'll agree with, and I'm like, no, that's wrong. I'm not afraid to call them out, because there's certain things that I feel it just needs to be challenged, and it's coming from a place of love. It's not coming from a place of hate. But like Afro Millennial, like as you said, I could see both sides. So it's like when I see people picking on the diaspora so much, I have to check them, because I have to tell them, listen, some of the things that they're saying is actually true. You complain about it in your own language, but when you call it out, then you want to get offended. So I know I'm gonna try.
First time I heard you say that, I was like, ooh, they be talking about it, and she know. I'm like, she got the inside scoop. But it's definitely things that I've heard and things that I've seen, but we wouldn't know if we don't speak the language. And then I think when the message is coming from someone who's an outsider to that community, it's not received the same. So you have the ability to speak to both sides, because you're invested enough in both communities to where you understand and you can break down the psychology behind the way people think, the history, the cultural implications. And that's what a lot of people don't have. It depends on, where you grew up and how much exposure you have, which is a perspective that's very needed.
Yeah. And I actually had to contact, it was another person in the YouTube world that they had made a disrespectful comment toward, the U.S. diasporans and everything coming over. And after watching your, I believe you're on Sister Gina's channel, and I can't remember millions of different topics, but I had to remember that, after I made the comment, I had to remember, well, obviously this person has not had any exposure, because they asked how many people from the diaspora from the U.S. were you ever had dialogue or contact or communication with? And they didn't. So then I followed up and said, okay, it's because they did not have any exposure is how they're able to make empty statements and things like that. So I actually went back and I had saw the email that they had, and I gave them a pretty lengthy, meaningful email. But it was also to apologize as well. And I'm never proud enough to where I can't apologize to someone, because I can't think that everyone knows American culture and things like that, and the reason why people behave and things like that. So I've been very mindful, and that if I'm making a comment in response, very first thing that should come out of my mouth is what is your level of interaction with people from the diaspora, but
You'll be surprised.
Boys in the hood, that's their only interaction.
So surprised. There's a huge disconnection. A lot of people on the continent have spoken to people in the diaspora that look like us. They've spoken to people in the diaspora who look like the Muzungus, but they haven't really seen a lot of us. So they just don't get it. They just think that we all think the same, but we really don't. They don't really understand the severity of what went on in this part of the world. But it's someone's responsibility to take care of that, though, because I can't imagine in 30 years we still having some of these disconnect conversations. Like, I don't know.
We have a lot of things, and I think in particular with foundational Black Americans, when it comes to exposure, coming from California, then coming from Southern California, then coming from Los Angeles County, then coming from the different places that we come from, there are vast differences, although many experiences may be the same. And, so there are so many different layers. And I think being in spaces like this and then going over there and bringing some of our culture and our personality, it gives people a more deeper look, because, to my understanding, this is New York. What up, son?
Hey.
Oh man.
This is Jamila, and I'm showing you the Breonna Taylor Memorial. Okay. So I live in Louisville, Kentucky, unfortunately, and this is where the Breonna Taylor case happened, and this is a park where we protest every single day. And when I say every single day, I mean every single day. So a lot of these people that are down here have been brutally attacked by police officers. Here's the what do you call that, Metro Hall right there, the mayor's office. Here's the courthouse. So right now they're celebrating the fact that Donald Trump did not win. And this is all, pertinent to what we're talking about as far as getting out of the plantation. So this right here is her memorial. Hello. A whole lot of really beautiful artwork. I know it's noisy. I wholeheartedly apologize. But people come down here and they put like flowers and pictures and candles, and it's almost like a tourist attraction at this point. But unfortunately, with all the love we got going on down here, the mayor, the police been treating these people like straight up animals. I've witnessed some really barbaric behavior from the police here, Black police officers as well, unfortunately. So this is like the main pillar of her memorial. Really cute painting of her. She was a good looking woman. So, she got killed by the police 10 minutes from my house. And this is pretty much what's on our mind here in Louisville. So when it comes to repatriation, for me, been ready to go. With the Breonna Taylor case, been ready to go. And down here, these people who want to keep up the fight, I've got like 10,000 hearts for them, but me, myself, I'm done. Done with the fight, ready to go. And these are a lot of fearless warriors down here. We call this Protest Park. Some people call it Injustice Square. So like I said, it's right in the middle of the downtown. Sorry, it's so noisy. Hopefully you can hear my commentary. But I just wanted to show you guys this because obviously, if you don't live here, it's not something that you see. And this street right here is where a lot of the fist fights go on with the police, people getting attacked. I'm talking about women, you know what I mean? Getting grabbed by 5, 6 police officers. getting injured, all that old craziness. And so I'm about to go ahead and mute this. But what I'm most proud of is the young people who decided to hop out and fight for a change. So this guy right here, he sells the t-shirts and the hoodies and stuff. Do you want to say something to my friend? Okay. And so you got people from different walks of life coming down here protesting every day. Okay. Ever since the George Floyd thing kicked off. Now, some of us been on it since she passed, which is in March, you know, but when the George Floyd thing kicked off, that's when people really started to focus on her case. So unfortunately, it took for a man to die for them to focus on what happened to the female victim of police brutality. But I want the world to know that people are not giving up. You know, they didn't charge the police officers. They did charge the one for shooting in the unit next to Breonna Taylor for shooting recklessly in the complex. Come in, I love you. I love you too. These are my friends moving to Africa. Do you want to say something to them? So this is our fearless leader here. Yes, ma'am. I don't want to stay here. Yes, ma'am. This is our Princess Carmen. She has an organization called Black Women Collective for Change, and she's been doing a lot of good things, protesting and policy change. Super proud of her. The campaign is over and I can be a free nigga again. Yes, ma'am. So that's what this live stream is about, like actually moving to Africa. So that's the strongest form of protest, is to divest. Yeah. All right, happy companion. Sorry to jump in with all this noise. I'm gonna deactivate my camera.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamila. Thank you so much, Quinn. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That you just did right now. You don't even understand how important that was.
Yes. The people don't understand. It's
We tired of fighting, man.
yeah.
We're tired of protesting just to be human.
Yep.
Can you imagine your daughter is going to be reading in history books this time right here, right? Like when we would read like in history books, we would see people protesting like in the 60s and things like that. We were like, oh, okay, that was something that happened, you know, historically. And that type of change and how things are being polarized as we speak, we're living very similar, you know, almost like very similar times almost. And we're actually living in a historic, we're actually living history right now on so many different levels. And your beautiful princess is living through some of that right now, where she can actually say, yeah, I remember right around that time, my family, you know, they left the US, so they moved for a better life. And I always say that we're future ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we're paving the way for someone. We don't look at ourselves as ancestors now, but everything that you say and do moving forward pretty much contributes to your legacy and everything that you're going to leave behind. So, yeah, I'm living a history book right now, which is it's a surreal feeling. I never thought that I would be a part of any type of protests. And then in my opening video, I have a portion in there where I was also boots on the ground and everything too. So I would have never thought as a child that I would be probably living and doing some things that my ancestors and my forefathers are doing, you know, just to be able to have that kind of spirit.
Yeah.
So.
And this is why I'm leaving, because, you know, I will get put on the Homeland Security list. You know what I mean? I'm already flagged. You know, all us Muslims are flagged. But like when that verdict came out, when everything happened with the police attacking us, first of all, they put us on a state of emergency. They barricaded the whole downtown. They brought in the National Guard. The white supremacy militia came in. They said no days off for law enforcement. You know, so they had everybody on edge. You know, the police come down here and just corral people and just lock them up, and they're purposely giving them felonies to discourage them from speaking out. And it's one thing after the other, and it's so much. And I'm talking about even State Representative Attica Scott, you know, who's a Black woman, got arrested, and they tried to charge her for inciting a riot. Just foolishness, you know? So speaking up for your rights is like detrimental here, and it's just way too much. Some of these photos that hit the national news, you know, I witnessed with my own eyes a Black police officer punching a protester in his head while 5 other police officers are holding him down, and he's ripping his dreads out, and the man is laying in a pool of blood coming from his head. It's, I mean, I cried for 2 days. It's traumatic.
Savagery.
And so I'm like, you know what? Before I blank, let me not incriminate myself. Let me go ahead and make my plans to leave. So I have my ticket for vacation to Gambia for you know, the end of December, and then I'm gonna put my ducks in a row to eventually get airlifted out of here. And you know, I was talking to my son about it today, how there is an envy from the white people that we do have a place to go. And I'll tell you how I know this. When I'm a teacher, I teach middle school, and
That's right.
one of the schools that I taught in, one of the Black teachers says we're going to dress up for Black History Month. So the first year we just did it one day. The second year in February, we did it first day, last day, and every Friday. When I tell you that us Black teachers walked into the building like the scene from Coming to America, let me tell you, we looked so regal. The white people was stopping in their tracks. I'm talking about administrators, teachers, jaw to the ground, making slick comments like, oh, you didn't tell us, or can we get in your picture? And why are you dressed like that? Did that start today? Like, what do you mean that? You're a teacher, you know when Black history is. And one of the, of course, not all the Black teachers dressed because they were, you know,
Yeah, they want to lose their job.
topic. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But dressed like a whole entire clown on St. Patrick's Day. But I digress.
Enslaved minds, man. Enslaved minds.
This one white teacher was really honest, and she was like, you know, I like how you all do that. She was like, I don't know what I would dress like from my culture. I know, maybe Danish, Welsh. I don't know. And so what she was basically trying to say was like, you all have something to connect to, and I don't know what outside of American culture I could connect to. And I was telling my kiddo today that white Americans can't go to France or Germany or Holland and say, I'm home, my brothers, my sisters embrace me. Those Europeans will look at them like, bye. So the fact that we have, you know, a motherland to go home to, they are beyond envious. And I was telling him, you can't tell people your plans, because people of the Black Power movement who actually did move to Africa in the 60s, they didn't talk a whole lot. They just moved. And that's how Ghana got all them 50,000 African Americans, because those people were smart enough to not get redirected from the wayward-minded Black Americans here in the United States.
True.
The costume is a black burglar mask. That's what they can dress up as. Yeah. Very cheap.
And they can do their ancestry. They got their last names. They could look it up in a book.
Yeah,
exactly.
They could figure it out.
But those Europeans would not accept them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
France, the French people are not gonna be like, welcome home, brother. Welcome home, sister. Like, it's just not gonna work.
Because they're not a family. They're not a community like we are.
Exactly.
They're not collective.
Yeah,
they don't
Europe
have that
didn't
love.
Send their best. Yeah, Europe didn't send their best. To come over and colonize.
They sent rapists.
I probably wouldn't take them back either. You know.
Well, that's why you need more of us on the continent to take DNA tests so we can close that gap, and because it answers a lot of questions. Trust me. After millennia, if you got somebody in your family willing to do it, you'll see. You'll be like, wow, this is my cousin, this is my cousin, this is my cousin. And what they want us to do, have you noticed they always have like a little pet dog with a little sweater on them? You know, that's how they see us, you know. So when we change our clothes to African stuff, we're not that little pet anymore. No, we're a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? That's a psychological effect. They try to keep us on there. Everything you have to buy and look like them. You know, because I remember when I was in, we look at the slave movies. Okay, you always see the butler or the house brother, you know, Negro, whatever they want to call it, with the preppy thing and the little suit and all that, and you know, because you are the pet. You are the you are the master's pet, and that's what they want you to be. But how come they can't wear African whatever, and you know, and be like that? Well, I always got to be looking like them, emulating them, because you look so good, you look so civilized because you got what I wore, what I'm wearing every damn day. So they even put clothes on their damn dogs to look like.
You see people with their hair trying so hard to achieve the European standard of beauty that their hair start thinning out. They like straighten it and perm it, and it's like gone. Like it's just, and people will just, they like, we strive to be like them so much in certain ways, and they still never gonna accept us and treat us like human beings. And so it's like, you might as well be yourself and be somewhere where yourself is acceptable. You know, it's torture.
Let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys say? And this is open to anybody. What do you guys say to the people who say that we're running away? Like, how do you come up?
Heck
You're
yeah,
right.
I'm running away.
You're right.
What's up?
You're right.
What's up, nephew? I'm on a live stream.
Run away to fight
Shit,
another
I
day.
tell you what, you over there hiding shit.
Isn't that saying? Running away to fight another day. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Nah,
course,
yeah.
I'm running away.
Yep.
Yes,
We're
and
from the plantation. And exactly. You know, we running up, instead of north, we running to the. Go ahead.
No,
people do it all the time. Like war-torn countries, people escape,
Yeah.
refugee. I'm gonna be a refugee. I'm gone.
That's true.
You're seeking refuge.
I'll give my 2 cents on that.
Mm-hmm.
So my response to that is we're actually running towards something beautiful and amazing. You know, repatriation to Africa doesn't ever have to be about leaving oppression. Even if you felt like everything was fine and dandy, hunky-dory here in the United States, why not go to your roots and your culture? Just like Saeed said, even the Latino students in school, you know, they don't speak Spanish anymore, or maybe they never did it. If they wanted to repatriate back to their original homeland, that would be dope, so they can know their culture and they can know how to cook the food and speak the language and do the different rituals, you know what I mean? And so it's going to your homeland to something peaceful and beautiful. And we know that people travel across the world. I mean, people who aren't even necessarily African Americans, they do go and live in different countries. They're called expats.
Yep.
When white people live in another country, you know, but when black people are going to an African country, you know, we're repats. And so that would be my response. Well, what's wrong with living in another country? People have been doing it since the beginning of time. I mean, that's how America was really developed. People migrate all throughout history, all over the world. That's how whole new ethnicities are even created. So for the black people who want to say, oh, things aren't bad here, we're good, and there's no racism, whatever. Okay, but still think about repatriating to Africa, because it's yours. The air is yours, the soil is yours, the people are yours, and the language that you hear, you may not understand it, but in your soul, you know your ancestors spoke it.
Yep.
And for me, I want to say that if you want to call it running, I really wouldn't say it's really running away. For people who always say, oh, people are trying to leave. You know, given our history here, nothing that's been going on so far has really benefited us. So really, I don't see any end in sight. Staying here, putting people in prisons, giving people felonies to where now they can't leave. So now they have to stay in this abusive relationship. Why wouldn't you want to encourage someone to be able to get out of this bubble and go to something just a little bit more better? That's like having somebody that's in an abusive relationship convince you to stay in that abusive relationship because they're in an abusive relationship. Right? So you should be wanting to celebrate and be happy. And I have many people who just choose not to go altogether, but they're still very happy for me. And if you do want to call that running away, then if my ancestors have been kidnapped and you open up a door and you take shackles off, guess what? They're going to go ahead and book back. So are they running away from being colonized and staying here? No, I think we're going back and just sealing the spirit of our ancestors to return back to home. That's all it is. So if you want to call, I'm going to be a runaway, I'm going to be missing, I'm going to be all of that stuff when I go back to Africa. And I will say to everybody watching, not everybody's going to go, and I'm okay with that. Okay, some people need to stay back and go ahead and live in the matrix, just so in the next lifetime you learn that it doesn't work. So we need people to stay behind, and I don't think everybody should go.
Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
So those are
you know
things.
What? Listen, go ahead.
those are things that people say to try to get you to stay. We as Africans here on the continent, we played that trick on one another for years. Oh, you don't want to go over there, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna get all these diseases, you're gonna get this. Well, hell, bring them on. Bring on all that stuff that, because it's good enough for white people to go over there and go on vacation and stuff, but you tell me everything is dangerous, it's unsafe, and it's unhealthy, but everybody else can go over there and vacation and be wonderful. So yeah, I'll see you. I'll be on the beach drinking whatever indigenous juices from trees and stuff while you over here wishing that y'all can get over there. Hey, see ya.
It's embarrassing too to this nation to see so many people like us trying to get the heck up out of here. And social media has really increased the exposure that they didn't have in the 60s. And so they're doing anything to try to appease if they can, psychological warfare. That's what it is, because they try to plant that in my mind as well. And I'm looking as I'm driving around, I'm like, okay, I grew up here, I'm here, but is this where I want to be? Okay, because you got to have, like you said, the fear in your mind is like, well, should I do this or not? And every time I think about it, I say yes. I don't have any hesitation. It's like, yes, I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's good to think about it. Of course, you want to think logically about what's going on. But can I do it? Yes, I'm going to do this. And so, and like I said, you have all these, because they were saying so many of our people are in prisons, millions of African men and women are in prison right here, at least 1.5 million. And that's a travesty. That's more than half the country of the Gambia itself is in prison.
Wow.
If you think about that. So it's like, and then you have these Amnesty and National, all these groups are trying to say, hey, man, that we need to put this country on trial because you got people in there, you ruin their whole lives over stuff, and it's on purpose. The purpose is that they capitalizing off of us and our labor still to this day. And then when you get out, you got a problem because you can't get a damn job. You can't find nothing. And they're keeping it over and over, the cycle over and over again. And so while you hear, and I try my best sometimes to mentor, one of my brothers, his name is Kwame Safir. He's on my Facebook. I know him since junior high school. And he's deals with the youth a lot, taking them different places. Him and his wife just take them, just get the heck out of Long Beach for a little bit and see some other things. When I was in 6th grade, we had 6th grade camp. I don't know if you remember Camp High Hill. You guys went to camp? You probably didn't have that.
I didn't go.
You did? Okay. It was in.
Are you talking detention camp? Or you
talking? No, 6th grade camp, man. They took us out. They took us out of the inner city.
Yeah, if you from Compton, camp means something else. So.
No, we're not talking about Los Padrinos or Camp Gonzalez and all those places. Okay, we're talking about LP and all. We're talking about like a little summer, like a week-long camp, and you go.
Oh yeah.
It's near the Griffith Observatory, up there in those areas. And so they're taking us out because to get away from the concrete jungle, because all the and then that helped us too. It's like, wow, and I forgot to mention that earlier with African Millennium. I said, yeah, the 6th grade camp kind of helped out too because we got to eat, sleeping in the cabins and enjoying nature. We singing at the campfires, roasting marshmallows, just having fun and stuff. And there was a couple of fist fights on there. You got rivaling schools, stuff in 6th grade. But other than that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yes. I wasn't part of this. One of my friends, he had a fight with somebody from another school. It was stupid, but it was over with. But I'm just saying, it took the hood it took us to a different level. And I think that we have to be cognizant of now. And if you have anybody of youth around you, that's even if they're not directly your kids or something like that, it could be cousins, nephews, or something. Always pass that positivity and tell them that. Tell them about Africa. Tell them about different things. Give them some books. Give them some things. Give them some YouTube. Give something to them so they can open their minds up and they can be exposed to something more better than what they've been doing. And that's what happened. That's that little 6th grade camp and going to see my aunt in Texas. Different things like that kind of expose you to listen to those old school people telling you how things were and how you can, hey, education is the key to success. you will survive. Those positive affirmation, give them some type of a leeway as an escape. There's something going on here. Just like in Boys in the Hood, see what happened to Morris Chestnut. He was almost made it, and then he got smoked.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got movies with what's the name, Lawrence Tate and
Innocent Society.
Instant Society.
Yes.
He's like, yo, I'm out, and then look, somebody got smoked. But still, people made it to, going all the way to Atlanta. A lot of my friends in high school, in junior high school, elementary, moved to Atlanta during the 90s
Morehouse.
to get the heck out of LA and Long Beach because it was so bad.
My homeboy live in Atlanta and Georgia right now. He can't come back. He can come here, but like everybody else went different ways, and it's like the streets will get you, and you gotta. Sometimes it's the environment. You gotta remove yourself because it's that toxic.
Exactly.
Atlanta for many
and I
people.
think it's important.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, sister.
No, I was just gonna say, as far as replacement verbs, as opposed to running, like African millennials said, if someone says, why would you run? But like Afro millennials said, it's removing yourself from a toxic environment. And there's nothing wrong with that. Replacing negative energy with positive energy. Everybody's not that warrior that can sit here and fight. Me and my brother had that conversation. He was like, the fight is here. I'm like, I'm tired of fighting. Everybody don't have that warrior spirit where you can just sit and fight. And, one of the things you were talking about earlier, Afro millennial, how the little things add up. We call that death by 1,000 cuts. Cut here, cut here, cut here, cut. Death by 1,000 cuts, from the microaggressions all the way to the overt forms of racism that is trauma. I was on another live, and it was with African American Muslims, and they were talking about the term PTSD. They were like, can we use PTSD if we still in it? There's no P. It's no post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Wow.
We still in it.
Still
So
in
the
it.
P is not even, the P is not even effective. We can't even get to the P. Ain't no post, And so you have people that want to expire from this realm in a totally different feeling, more positive. And everything in Africa is not perfect. We know that. But at the end of the day, it's yours. I was talking about, just the evil eye. And Islam, we know what it is. But just in regular everyday talk, it's like, regardless of how high you get up career-wise, just the effects of the white people's evil eye can be draining and pulling you down. And just being in an environment where people are plotting for your demise. So you can be Little Miss CEO, and you can have this, that, and the third, and the material things, but just knowing that you're around people who do not want to see you win and will do anything, whether it's calling this people, calling that people, emailing this, all of that in itself is toxic.
Yes.
And
you're a target.
Exactly. I just had a complete mind shift. Like, I'm not really trying to move up career-wise in this country, because if my soul isn't atoned, then it doesn't matter. It's not an accomplishment. My best friend has a PhD in math. She's been teaching on the university level, and she talks about the racism that she deals with. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. So you mean to tell me, they lied to us. They told us education was a great equalizer. No, it's not. It's
and
really not.
That's why a lot of people don't achieve, and they'd rather be comfortable than go into those other realms where we don't see much of ourselves. Like, a lot of people work in fields where other Black people work in that field, or they see other people aspire, like where they can feel comfortable. Because to go be maybe an engineer or something else where we're a minority, you'll be out of your element. People will be out to get you. People will look at you like, oh, you're an IT guy? I didn't know Black. They give you that. I had somebody, a Black colleague of mine, tell me, oh, you're too young to be a manager. But I'm like, thank you, but it's just, you become more of a target, and people make it seem like I would be going back and forth with people on social media, Mazungus and stuff, because it's fun. But they they say, oh yeah, these people are successful, these people are making it, why can't you? And I'm like, these people, Beyonce, whoever you're looking at they have family, they have cousins, they have friends, people who may be in jail or maybe, affected by poverty. They're not individuals. Y'all are individuals. We're not.
Yes.
We're a collective. We're a family. We're a unit. If somebody's in pain, my brother's in pain, my cousin's in pain, these things we see on the news, these are people that look like us. This is us. We don't just, oh, somebody got killed, we don't know who they are, rest in peace, that's so sad. No, this hurts us to the core. You go to work, nobody else knew somebody got killed. You holding that all by yourself. Nobody knows, oh, hi, how you doing today? You have some coffee. And you're just like sitting with that, like somebody in my family.
Yeah, we call that vicarious trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your own trauma, but then when it's someone else's, it's vicarious trauma and generational trauma.
Exactly.
White people don't know that what happened to our ancestors, we live in that. Some of us have dreams about our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still hold to that. Like, we in the education field have to tell some of these teachers, look, you just can't casually say, hey, read this book about slavery, this and that. Like, some of the Black kids go through it. They reading books crying. They watching documentaries, like, leaving a classroom, like, that's real. That was her uncle that was lit in her mind. You understand?
Yeah.
So some of that stuff is not just history in a history book. Some of that is, yes.
Just how they feel when the statues get torn down.
Even some of our physiological responses also just naturally stem also from slavery as well. Health problems and things like that. Just imagine having to drink seawater because you didn't have anything else, right? Imagine living in squalor and living in your own, excrement, not just yours, but everyone else's. Having children born through that in the hulls of a slave ship and still managing to survive,
having children and just being enslaved, period. Like, after I had my daughter, I was like, what the heck are people doing? Picking cotton. They throwing up every day, got morning sickness. Like, my mind just was like, how in the world, world did they survive this? That's how great we are. Like, it's just unfathomable.
And seeing how other people, and seeing how, and watching, just imagine being, the head of the house, or being a man working out in the field, and you're seeing your wife getting abused, you seeing your child getting abused and stuff, and knowing that if you respond or retaliate, then you're gone and you can't now protect them.
Exactly.
But then again, that sense of protection, how it's like you can't do anything.
Stuck.
Yeah, it's like you're stuck.
Oh, we'll get to that.
You said what, sister?
Don't say too much. We'll get to that maybe tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's actually what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Okay.
To segue, we're talking about why Black women are Black women too hard on Black men? You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Make sure I'm good.
You don't want me on that one.
You know what? African millennia, I can say queen, princess, because you young. Is it princess more appropriate or queen? Because I think
I don't know.
I think because you around my daughter's age, I think princess may be good. How about, because I heard Melanin mostly say it one time, but I say queen too. But I think that you will be able to really handle that panel very well, and because I can see that you'll be able to moderate it, and you have some people moderating very well. You'll be able to handle it, and without people going nutting up and going crazy over the subject. It all depends on how you carry it. I think you're gonna do it well, and I look forward to being on it. I wouldn't say it to other channels because I looked around and see how it goes, like Jerry Springer and stuff. I'm like, I'm not trying to but it depends on how you carry it. If you choose to, you got people popping on. Got people popping on. So that's what I'm saying. I'm singing like we have respect for millennials, who have a different outlook, just like we have a different outlook in my age group and other age groups that's on this panel right now. We get to see how you can facilitate a topic like that, okay, you know. And so if you want to talk to me afterwards or anybody afterwards about, you know, this, please feel free to contact us, because I think that's an important topic, and I think it's a hot topic. But I know you're going to take care of it. You're going to handle business. You know, I can see that. I can see that. You know, just let you know that you got that from the THC. I was kidding.
Hi, everybody. Still on the plantation.
What's
Still
going
on the
on?
plantation, as they say. But I've just locked off this call because I'm like, these guys are freaking me out right now. But I need to take a break from them. How you guys doing?
Doing good, sister.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
very good.
I do think that there's an element of you know, like there's certain things that you said yesterday, THC, that we do need to take note of. You know what I'm saying? Like we do generally as women, you know, need to listen to our men, because I think that there's things that we can learn from that, you know. I think we all come from such different places. Like I was trying to, you know, jump in and out while Jamila was on with Breonna Taylor and all of that stuff. And it is so painful,
yes,
you know, and the problem is that somebody of it, you know, Magunzos or whatever you want to call them, we've got different names for them, you know, in the UK. And it's too rude for me to express, you know, like on a call, because I might be arrested. But anyway, to cut a long story short.
No mayo on the sandwich. No mayonnaise. Sorry.
Jerron's like, no mayonnaise on the sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm jealous about that. What sandwich is
wheat
that?
bread too. Wheat bread.
Wheat bread. Exactly. Yeah. You see, you got it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, because I'm on a Zoom call with one of my headphones in, and they're in London, and I've just kind of removed myself from the call because they've got things that they need to sort out and work on, and I'm just like, you let me know when you're ready for me to put my 2 cents in, so I can jump on this call, you know. Because I just don't think we need to be involved in the whole process. Sometimes they need to argue it and fight it out amongst themselves. And when you need me to come in with the numbers, I'll come in with the numbers, because I've got better things to do with my Saturday. But yes, I do feel that the things that I've seen this year, you know, with the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Aubrey, I mean, I could go on, the list will go on, you know. It really is traumatic, and we do internalize that pain, you know. Because I've got 2 godsons that are teenagers, they talk about it all the time because they're 16 and 13 and they're boys, you know, and they're like, why do these people feel that it's okay to just gun us down in the street? You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even give us an opportunity to speak, you know, like to defend ourselves in a normal way. It's just straight away, it's just gun in the back and that's it, you know. And and sometimes I'm too emotional. Sometimes I've had to go to the bathroom, have my cry, and then come back out and talk to them, because it's so hard to explain to young people how hateful it is and how traumatic it is. And then we still have to take them outside to go and play basketball, or, you know, have a normal life. Yeah. And they just don't care here. In fact, they don't care anywhere, because even in UK, they don't care. They're knifing them up. They're knifing them, stabbing each other in the UK. You know, that's what they're doing. So it's just another different form of weapon. And I just think that I got to be honest with you. In my mental capacity, I'm running. You know what I'm saying? I am running. And I don't think I think I've been running for years. Until that time comes when I can actually walk the walk, I'm always going to be running, because there's just too much at stake for me. And I'm very cautious of these people now, because they're devils. You know, they're real life devils. And they want you to succumb to their mercy all the time. And I just won't do it. I will not do it. Exactly. Not for money and things or anything. I've got a higher survival calling, you know what I'm saying? And I am trying to keep myself maintained, and that doesn't involve me enslaving myself to them, because I feel like I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors, and because of that, there's no way that I'm going to accept, you know, certain behavior. And there's certain things that I won't do. Like, they're all like, oh, we can offer you some money so that you can go and get further education. I'm like, no, I'm okay, thanks. Oh, there's another job coming up, you know, like, do you want to upgrade? No, I'm all right. I'll stay right here where I'm at, because my next move is to get out of here, and I don't want to be entrapped to anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta have
So
that
I'm
gold bag.
Exactly.
yeah, and I'm halfway there. I've almost put most of it together. And also I'm selling a lot of stuff as well, because I'm just like, when I'm ready to just shift, you know, it's just going to be an easy move. You know, I don't have a lot of stuff, but the stuff that I've got at the moment, I'm just whittling it down, giving it away to people. I had people come over the other day and just take what they wanted, because when I'm ready to leave, I'm traveling light too. I'm not, it's not going to be a whole bunch of stuff, you know, a few things, because I was speaking to a couple of people in the UK that have repacked, you know what I'm saying? And they're back home in the UK now to just settle up some things. And they were like, there's certain things that we should take, like our beds, because the beds are not so great in certain parts of Africa. So they're like, take your bed, take your mattress if you can, you know, if you can take bed sheets, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, if I feel to do that at the time, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll just go and make do. You know what I'm saying? I'm very humble. I can, if it's a sleeping bag and I'm in the right environment, I'm good. You know what I mean?
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'm not obsessed
That's
with
how I
anything
feel.
here, you know? Yeah, right? I'm just like, I don't
Right.
care. As long as I'm home, that's what's up. You know what I mean? As
And
long as
neither
I'm
one
home.
of us are going to let you
If they can do it, we
let
can
that
do it.
happen to you either, sister.
Sorry, say that again.
I said, and neither one of us is going to allow that to happen to you there, sister.
But you know what? If that's what it is, brother, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can remove myself from this situation, because mentally they just want to keep us so suppressed, and I'm not really okay with that. So as long as I know what my plan is, I just keep that keep that close to me. I've got like my list of affirmations and all of that on the wall in my house, and I just make sure that I keep myself uplifted, keep prayed up, keep these boys okay, and just, you know, just settle myself, because these people, they will drive you mental, you know, with all their foolishness.
And then shoot you when you have a mental episode.
Yes, but they would never know it, because they would never know it. Like, even just now, like they were arguing, you know, they're arguing on this situation, because they like to do the blame game. And I'm just listening, and I'm like, I'm going to jump off this call. I watch and see, you know, all the remarks back and forth, and I just say, when they're ready to talk, I'll jump back in. But for now, it's been going on for 2 hours. So that's what they do. And it's a Saturday, you know, it's our day off technically, but because we're behind, you know, we've got to work. But I'm like, look, you guys get it together and let me know when I'm to jump back on. Because I got things to do, man. It's serious. I like to do things on my Saturday, and that's not it, you know.
See, in Africa, they know how to take it easy. Take a break, enjoy the weekend.
Exactly.
Have lunch in the middle of the day with your family, go back to work.
Yeah.
And then if it's really too hard, screw it. Let's just cancel the whole shift.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow's a holiday. Take the next 3 days off.
Exactly. Yeah. See, that's how it is in Jamaica and Cuba as well. They know how to relax, you know, like shut it down, like, you know what I'm saying, and chill out. Like, these people are just like money, 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 you know, all day long. And I'm like, it's just not that serious for me, you know?
Yeah. When you don't have the resources, you just desperate. You just want to grab. You never have enough.
Yeah. Yeah. But even when they've got enough, babe, they still want more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're so obsessed with things and material, you know, everything material that they can look at. You know what I'm saying? So
I think they have some type of PTSD from not having, like poverty or Neanderthal PTSD or something. It's just like always gotta beat the next person, you know, have control over somebody else, dominate, bully, like yeah, it's a sickness.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
as I
so.
said,
Go ahead,
yeah,
THC.
when I went through boot camp in military, after I finished boot camp, I think about a month or two later, I told my it was a tech sergeant, I said, you know, basic training, I mean, y'all yelling at us and telling us to march around and this and that and get killed and all this. And all of a sudden, I'm with multi-million-dollar equipment. I went through training for like a couple of months, and then I went to do my task and learn what I need to do, my skill. And I'm like, I think I need to go back to boot camp because you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, it was weak. I mean, you know, it's like we had PTSD. I'm from the streets. I said, you
Yeah.
guys joking around, walking around, marching and stuff. They were supposed to scare me, you know. I was like, it need to be a bit more harder than that, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I was thinking at 18 years
Yeah,
old, man. I said, I said, and you got all these guys all crying and they go into the medical, psychological. I would quit and all this. No, you are not quit. You are not quit. I'm like, man, come on. We standing there, you know, all the brothers. We were like, this was like three of us. It was like, come on, man. I think 3 or 4 of us. We're like, come on, about 60 of them, 60 people, and there's like 3 of us. I'm like, so they don't realize that we're strong, powerful people.
Yes.
And then you put us in a situation and growing up in the streets, whatever, and that's going to make us more tougher.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's been chance. I could have went either way, fam.
Yeah.
I could have went either way, and I listened
Yeah.
to my aunt. I listened to other people telling me stuff. Even my older brother, you said, you know, hey, you know, you're too smart, man. You too smart.
Yeah.
And I was gonna leave the military at one time too. Like the first 6 months, oh man, I'm like, then my boy Rod, like, no, man, do this, you do this. So it took me a lot of transition. And so when we come back to the continent, and I see the fear of our brothers and sisters there, because they see TV, they don't want that kind of stuff going there. You don't want gang banging in colors, you know, and all of a sudden you can't wear red or blue because you in this is Serekunda, you know, this is side of the town, you know what I'm saying? No, this is seafood in the house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that kind of stuff, and I see what they're talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! You know what? If I have to choose, I'm with Afro Millennial Mama. You know, I'm an Inglewood kid. I'm an Inglewood kid. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Sorry, boys. Inglewood. Yes, you could.
Okay, well, Jahari, Inglewood is wonderful. It's the woods of Ingle, right? It's the woods of Ingle. You only saying that because I'm sure they got an Inglewood in the UK.
Oh my God, I was from the ghetto, honey. I'm a street youth. You know what I'm saying? So I was born and raised in, definitely. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people get offended by the word ghetto, but you know, my family are not rich. You know, like, so I was born in the ghetto in the UK, and I also, my family from Jamaica and Cuba are also, you know, from the streets. You know, so for me, it's more. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can adjust to any situation.
Yep.
You know, and I've got friends, you know, that have moved, you know, from like London to the US, and they couldn't handle it. Because the thing is, right, if you're already bougie coming from the UK, you ain't gonna make it here. And I've had to explain to them that, you know, there's certain things, like I lived in New York for 4 years on my own. You know what I mean? There's certain things that you won't be able to handle. And this is LA. LA is kind of chilled. When you get to like New York and Miami, you know, certain parts of Miami, it's roughhouse. You know, so if you think that you're going to go there and flutter your eyelids and everything's going to be all good, no, it's not really like that, especially not for us, you know, African people. You know what I'm saying? You might have to move. And some of my friends have moved back home. They've moved back home to London because they were here for like a couple of years. And, you know, your visa is like 3 years for some people. And by the second year, they're like, no, I can't handle it. You know, crying to their parents on the phone, please send me a one-way ticket. I can't make it. Because they've got a misconception because they're watching too much TV and the TV don't really show them the real, you know, the real life. And I've tried to tell them, but, you know, when you're talking to certain people, they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, but I've been living there for many years. And coming there since I was 4. I kind of do know what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to explain to you because you need to make yourself be equipped. But they couldn't hear that. So they had to come and learn for themselves. And they went back home destroyed. You know, like even some of them are not good right now because of what they had to go through here because they didn't understand, you know what I'm saying, that not everywhere is the same. It's not. And if you're not humble and you go there with that show off mentality, people are going to shut that down because Americans have, you know what I learned about Americans? Because I've got American family too. You are very proud people, you know, and you don't take disrespect. You know, and sometimes people come from places and they're just in their own heads. They think that it's okay for them to be disrespectful and they don't get that you need to humble yourself. You know, you're not there yet. You only just arrived and they don't want to learn that. So they've had to go back home. I've got a friend right now that's packing up to go back home because COVID has totally freaked her out. And I told her, don't come here now. And she came, she'd been there like 6 months and she can't handle it. And I warned her, this is not the time to come here. You know, wait a year or two when things settle down and get back to normal. She's like, the isolation, she couldn't manage. And to be honest, if you can't manage in COVID, when your job is allowed you to work from home and you're not out in the streets, you know, going to an office, you really shouldn't be here. Go back home. I've told lots of my friends, if you can't come here and spend 90 days and really see what it's about, don't come here. Because it's not for everybody, you know. But I love it. I've loved living in LA. I've been in Los Angeles County, the Bay Area, and here for 17 years. You know, so for me, it's good, but it's not for everybody. You know, it's just like if I had a friend that's American going to the UK, I would advise them, you know, don't go here, stay over here. You know what I mean? Because you just want to make sure that they're okay. But people sometimes don't want to listen. They want to take their own path, and I'm fine with that. But don't ask me for help if you can't handle it. You know.
Definitely.
But when we go home to Africa, it's going to be different. Totally different.
Oh yeah.
So with all of that being said, does anyone here have any closing statements, especially, you know, possibly to THC, because after all, this is one of the farewells that we'll have for THC.
THC. Wow. I mean, you know,
take a walk with
like I said, right? Like I said, it's been such an honor. I can't wait to meet you, African Millennial, to be honest. I cannot wait to sit with you and just literally, what's the word that you guys say? Is it chop it up? Chop it up. Is that the right saying?
Yeah, chop it up.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that because I've had the opportunity to chop it up with these. Chop it up. I sound ridiculous, but anyway, I've had the opportunity to sit.
Is jealous of you guys. Like, we're all jealous.
I mean, I've had these guys stretching out their t-shirts, but Inglewood all day. Sorry.
If you have time left, you can go to Inglewood.
I've had a really good opportunity to meet all of you, and I can't lie. For me, I think THC is an amazing person. Like your humanity for me speaks volumes. You know, and I think that's the thing that I gravitate to. I don't think it would be anything else for me personally. I think it's more the humanity of who you are and how you deliver so much of yourself to your people. You know, like that's so much what we need right now. Well, like we need like that energy, we need that love, we need that caring. Even when you scold us and say, "Come on now," because even when you do that, you do it in such a nice way. You know, it's not in a horrible way. You know, sometimes we're so scolded. We're like, as us women, we kind of want to, you know, go away and have a cry and come back. But you do it in a way that's so loving. You know, like you really love and care about your people, and that for me is everything. you know, and the same for you, Melanated Mosley, and you Afro Millennial, all of you guys, African Millennial. The way that you guys care about your people is very important to me. You know, it nourishes my soul. So for you too, HC, you know, grand rising, as they say, you know, overseas. I'm really excited for you. I want you to, yes, go and take care of business, you know, do your thing. But I also want you to have fun, because there's that side of you that's so funny. And I think that I can't wait to see that on the new videos in the Gambia, you know, because people are not ready. They're not ready. They're not ready for you, man. Serious.
I'm gonna get you.
The foo-foo fix continues. with jollof rice. With jollof rice.
Jollof rice.
Fufu and jollof rice. All right.
So now you so you go ahead, my brother. Go, you know, go be alive. You know what I'm saying? That's my words for you. Go and be alive and live your best life, you know. I feel like you've definitely earned it. You've put in the work, and this is you reaping the benefits now. The ancestors are definitely calling you home. And thank you for taking that call and exercising it into fruition. You know, because I think that's not everybody's journey, you know.
Yeah. You know, King, you know, it's like I know people say all these positive things, you know, I'm really humble about it, but you know, I don't like we talk Jahari and people, I don't see it. I see it, but I don't see it that way, you know, because I want to maintain who I am like that, you know. I don't want to be thinking, oh, I'm this person, I can do this, and I just come from the heart. If y'all see it that way, then I appreciate it, but I never want to develop a big head or anything like that. It's already 12 gallons already, so I don't want to get any bigger. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying,
yeah.
You all are wonderful, man. That's why I put you guys on my team. You know, on our team. It's a team right here, a family, and we all kind of like-mindedness, and that's that term should not be overrated. You know, because it's like it's essential. It's very essential because we have Judas and Judases. We have people out there who are plotting and trying to break this thing up. They will offer you money. They will offer you a break. They'll offer you a visa. They will do anything to get you to infiltrate. What do I know? I know I've seen a lot in my life. I've seen it. They would try to say, oh, the Happy Companion, he was military. Why he going in there? I saw somebody made a comment on there. I'm like, what? Are you trying to
I saw that.
Do you understand?
Not to interrupt, but I saw some people be like, why are all these military? And I was like,
I don't understand. One reason I can say, think about it. As military people travel, we've seen it, so we have an open mind. We can like, hey, give me a duffel bag and I'm gone. I don't need too much.
Exactly.
And some people haven't been exposed, and they're like, oh, I'm not going over there. You talk about Africa, man? I slept I slept in mud huts. I slept in tents.
Yeah,
you know
me
what
too.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so we have that adventurous spirit, and we've been indoctrinated into you can leave at one point. You can training. Like I showed, I had my problem solver video. I had some other thing. We're able to maintain, take care of stuff. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And so whoever's saying that, they don't understand. They ain't been in the military for a reason. And plus, they seeing it as, ooh, what's going on? They're looking at it as suspicion. And that's okay. Look at it, but it's the fact is that THC know what's up, and y'all see what's up. This is real, man. This is life, and this is what we got to do to maintain our survival.
Yeah,
we have to have a way to go home, and we have to have people on the ground willing to sacrifice themselves and to help with that transition, with honesty, with the spirit in them, and not just by business and making money. I'm talking about it has to be from the heart.
Yes,
because that it can't be corrupted. Our honest heart cannot be corrupted. Okay,
that's true.
Like I said, we have to, man. I'm telling you right now, you all are woke. I can see it, and I can feel it. You all the same level with the THC. All right, and you guys going to be vlogging and filming just like me, and we're going to do some collaborations. It's going to keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
Whatever platform, black form we decide to be on. And like I said, and this young princess queen right here, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I'm very
Well,
honored
yeah.
and humble
Yeah.
to see this. And, you know, and like I said, there's more to come from you.
Yeah.
And it's something, and like you said, we got a young lady over in Tanzania, 19 years old, almost 20, whatever,
Oh,
doing her
yeah.
thing, Tiffany
Tiffany.
Banner.
Tiffany. Oh, yeah.
Tiffany
Oh,
Banner.
wow. Yeah.
Okay.
She's
This is the
amazing.
next generation of leaders
Mhm.
that's going to happen, no matter how big or how small, going to play a part in what we're doing. And we open up the gates, the floodgates are opening up, and we're about to make it. Do it. You know,
Yeah.
it's going to happen. You know,
Yeah.
so I love everyone. I appreciate all the love, and people got on this panel again. And, you know, y'all saw me break down, and it's like, you know, it's you know, I'm not ashamed of that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I think we us men need to go ahead and do that and show you guys that we are humans, we can do it, and we love this place, you know, that we going to. You know, we love our people. We go about to cry, shed tears, shed blood, whatever it needs to take to get
Oh,
our
yeah.
people back where we need to be. I want to say awakening is about to happen. It's
Yeah.
happening now. And I'm telling you, I'm truly inspired by all of you. And I think, and to meet most of you already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
this
Yeah.
revolution, you know, this
Yeah.
movement, it's
Yes, indeed.
big, you know, it's bigger than us. You know, it's like I think through every single one of us, you know, like the ancestral core is so big. You know, I think it's so much bigger than us. It really is. And I
Yes.
think
we
it's
were all chilling 400 years ago, trust me.
yeah, I mean, seriously. But I just don't think, like, when I talk to some of my family, it's just like talking to running water, because I'm like, do you guys understand, like, what I'm saying? You know, like, I'm like, look, I'm not begging you to come. I'm just giving you some information. I'm going, you know what I'm saying? And I'll do it on my own if I have to. You know me already. You know, I'm like that. I can roll out on my own. I can roll solo, you know, but I'm just letting you know that we're in a war zone. Whether it doesn't matter where you are, Canada, Jamaica, Cuba, friggin' UK, it don't matter where you are. You're in a war zone. So get ready. Prepare yourselves.
I had somebody tell me at work, oh, like I said, he said, you finally leaving? I said, yeah, it's a black guy. And I said, yeah, I got to get out of here. It's too much going on. He's like, well, Africa is like crazy stuff going on right now too. And I was like, really? I'm like, wait, what is going on? Because all I watch is YouTube. And so I'm like, I haven't seen nothing. And I mean, I know everybody think it's, you know, one big country, but I was like, okay, this going on in the news in Cameroon, and I seen, you know, Nigeria and different stuff. But then I look at our news and I was like, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. And it's worse because we're the target. So
yeah.
I was just to hear the person say it like so not like so flippant, like just like whatever, like yeah, Africa is it's obvious, it's you know crazy. I'm like, it's every place in Africa is not like a war zone. They don't shoot up movie theaters and kids schools, and I mean it's just the perception of people, I guess, that they think, you know, they think Ghana is 2 hours away from Senegal or something. I don't know what they think, but it's just it made me think like it was kind of sad, like, you know, people just gonna stay with that form of thinking and not even look deep into it to figure out, you know, and it's kind of like, I guess it's what they tell themselves to just accept where they're living, like, well, it's bad over there too, so, you know. And I feel sad for those individuals, and I know they're not everybody's gonna come, but I feel like it's our calling to share our experiences with the people that are going to be here. So whether they come or not, at least they'll be exposed, and we can redeem the reputation of our continent, and you know, right the untruths, and
right the wrongs, the wrong.
all the misconceptions and the flies on the baby's face or whatever, the image that everybody has. Because if other people watching our news stuck to what they thought about us, they wouldn't come here.
That's
They
true.
would not.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Very,
Um,
very true. That's
we
very
just
true.
we just accept it and we become numb to it. But when you
Mhm.
take a step back and look and make the comparison, like the food we eat, the education that we receive, like people in this country don't even know, um, you know, that Africa is a continent full of 54 countries. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
how is this place supposed to be superior to other places? When you go to
Mhm.
Africa, people will tell you who your president was in 1984. Like, I've had conversations
Mhm.
with my husband and his friend and just having tea, and they're like, and they're saying stuff about President whatever, whoever, that I don't, Jefferson, something, what he did, and I don't even know. Like, how
Right.
educated am I? You
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
I have a college degree, because
I know, right?
so it's that's why I keep working on my mom. I'm talking to her, and explaining, like, look, mom, this is the reality of what my peers living here are going through, and it's not what it's cracked up to be. We just have accepted it because it's better than what it used to be back in the day. It's not out in
Mhm.
the open maybe as much. Well, now we got phones, but we feel like because we have people in positions of power that, oh, it's better now. You know,
Mm.
you can go to HBCU, what is it called? Those colleges.
Yeah.
You go
Yeah.
to and be the vice president. Everything's better. No, it's not,
No, it's not.
because they're
It's
gonna call
not.
you a monkey. They're
Yeah.
gonna, it's still, we still have to fight, like, to wear our hair like this at work in the
Yeah.
corporate world
Yeah.
is
Oh
like,
yeah.
you got to sign a petition.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a very small nose ring, and I had to lie and say it was for religious reasons, because otherwise I had to take it out. Like, we still slaves,
Yes, we
you
are,
know,
honey. Yeah,
you
and it's
know.
global. It's global. Trust me when I tell you. When I go home and work in the London office, it's the same thing. But what I've done is I've just I've put everybody on notice and let them know, look, this is who I am, and I'm not,
Yeah.
I can still do the work. It doesn't change me being able
Hmm.
to deliver the same figures what you need. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not okay with my Bob Marley t-shirt and my Rasta man hat, then I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not changing for you people. I've
Mhm.
never done it and I'm not about to start now. I'm too old as well. You know what I mean? Too old to do that. So if you're not okay with it, then I'll move on to the next. Because the good thing about us is that we know that we can get a job somewhere. You know what I mean? And that's how I am in terms of my survival. I don't let people make me
Hmm.
be institutionalized because of money.
Yeah.
I'll go and work at McDonald's if I have to and do a supermarket job. I'm good with that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
we have to stand up. We have to stand up for our people. We really do.
Uh-oh.
Because they need us.
That was me. Sorry.
They need. It's all right. They need us to stand up. And THC, that's what you're doing. All you guys on the panel, that's what you're doing. You're standing up. You're standing up, and that's what
Yeah.
it's about.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
rise up, man.
And
Hello,
brother, I love,
darling.
and let me say, brother, I love your strength. And it wasn't necessarily like today was not a breakdown. It was more or less a breakthrough,
Yeah.
right?
Thank Thank
So nothing was being broken about you. I have those same emotions when I think about the continent and everything like that. And I have never really been that type of person to even share emotion. But whenever I think about the continent and the possibilities of what will be when I get there on the continent,
you.
that definitely puts a lot of emotion and everything into me. I don't know, maybe they're the salty tears from the seawater that we had to drink. I don't know what it is, but I know, that being here, here in the diaspora, meeting you and knowing that we only a stone's throw away. I foresee a lot of excellent things going on
Oh yeah.
out there for you. So
For us.
it ain't really like a farewell or anything. It's I'm gonna see you in a bit.
I'll holler.
Right.
You have your fufu fix or whatever. I have my chicken yassa fix. I get my chicken yassa fix, right?
I mean,
So,
I love
yeah,
it.
get the shoulder popping and everything,
Yeah.
and then
Get some
we got
energy now.
sister Afro Millennial Mama. We got our sister. It's like a Las Vegas drive.
Right.
Maybe the roads is a little bit more bumpy or whatever, but
It's
you're
all
right
good.
next. You're right next door. So it's just like sealing one. It's sealing one part of our individual and personal history, and a new rebirth and a brand new life. I might have a different birthday when I arrive over there, because
Right.
it's gonna be that's what it is.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So when I see y'all, we're gonna talk. We're gonna collaborate. This is our new family right here, and I'm gonna ask you. When is your birthday? Don't be like, oh, it was back. No. When you return back to the continent and you're back there to live,
Yeah, that's a
that
good
is
one.
going
I
to
like
be your
that.
new birthday that you're going to be celebrating. And
Yeah.
I like that idea. I like that idea. I love it, man.
Yeah, I love
That's very
that.
true. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is true.
Forever 40. Forever 40.
Exactly. Forever 40. Forever 40.
Yeah,
Forever
I'm 41.
40 fix. 5 F's.
41 is the new 41, by the way.
Right.
I'm putting that out there.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go because I got to feed 2 hungry boys now. So I love you all.
Love you too.
Stay strong. Keep yourself healthy. Do what you have to do. But stay true to yourself and follow your hearts, man. That's what it is.
That's it.
Stay true to yourself. I see the rest of you guys. THC, one love, one love, one love.
Love. Thank you.
Be well. All right. Blessings.
All right.
See you, Jahari. Take care.
You want to close out?
You too.
Okay. Whenever you're ready. All right. Okay. No.
Do you want to close out?
Who? Oh, yeah.
Millennium. I'm from Millennium Mama.
Oh, I just want to say I have a big brother. Well, 2 big brothers now. And I've always wanted brothers. I've only had sisters. So I'm very excited that we're all moving together. Ta-da! But I've told you this before, TAC, and like you don't see it because you're being who you are naturally, but you're a very special person, and your role in this movement is very much needed. And whatever made you get out your camera and start being like, "What's up, y'all?" and show us Gambia, like whatever pushed you to do that it's an awesome thing because it has a domino effect on the rest of us. And especially from being where we're from, it was like I didn't even know that I needed to see that, but that just solidified like, okay, we coming from all over, even from California. Like, so it reinforces and keeps us motivated because we have the little fears and uncertainties and everything and the nostalgia, but seeing other people go before you and do things just motivates us even more. Even my husband, he told you, like, it motivated both of us. And so I thank you for that. Anybody who will have lunch with their YouTube followers, like, is a special person.
Thank you.
Whether you believe it or not. I mean, of course, we're all special in different ways, but you're very unique in that way, and I appreciate who you are and that God has put you here for this purpose. So thank you so much, and make sure you come to my house for Christmas and holidays and Thanksgiving or whatever we're gonna celebrate. We'll celebrate whatever.
Afro Millennial. Real quick, just share the little 30-second story about the Ethiopian restaurant when he as far as with the filming and everything.
Oh, so you talking about how we just
when
chopping it up.
It's time to video.
And then it was like, oh, you want to do a video real quick? And we was like, you talking about how we was like, okay, let me go to So we was eating, and it wasn't on film because I didn't want to be like super fan, like, let me get you on my channel and stuff. And so we're sitting eating nicely. Everybody has their phones, but nothing else. So then we finished eating, and then he's like, you guys want to, film this? I don't know if you guys want to. We're like, yeah. So everybody go to the car, get their tripods. He come out with the big old tripod.
Yeah, okay.
with the light, and Mosey had the mic and the light and the everything on his.
I had,
And we was
I had
all
a staff
filming
of 5 people. You know, I had a staff of 5 people holding the boom device, setting up the lighting.
He was like, "Let me
I
go to
had
the
my
car real
director's
quick
chair.
and get my stuff." They come back with all this big equipment. I'm like, "Let me get my stick and my GoPro then," and we just all filming each other. Like, what it do? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we just happen to have it with us, you know. Just
By chance, you know, it was in my car, you know.
yeah. I had 3 people hiding in the bush and
In the
everything with a
bush.
mic device and everything, you know.
Ah,
But that's the
I
kind of
remember that.
that's the kind of brother that he is. The same
mhm,
person, and I can say that by meeting just about everyone on here. The same people that you see that are sharing their lives and opening up about repatriation and you know how much we love Africa are the same people that I've sat and had lunch with and met with on more than one occasion.
mhm.
And it's the same. It's the same person. You know, so
Thank you.
just have
Likewise,
all of
Levi.
your subscribers and stuff like that know that you know these are some real people on here that
Yes,
that are they are who you're seeing right now is who you would actually see in person.
exactly.
And they
Have
send you
that very
helpful
good spirit.
tips. They
Yeah,
always like networking, giving you, you know, giving you advice or resources. Like, you know, it's not like just in front of the camera thing. Like these
yeah,
people will text you advice or contacts for shipping stuff or whatever you
Exactly.
need. And if somebody finds out something, they share it with the group or whatever, and it helps everybody's lifting each other up. So
Yeah.
mhm.
it's such a beautiful thing. I get chills when I'm with you guys. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just a feeling that is so beyond explanation, but it just feels like this is what we're supposed to do with our lives right now.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Thank you,
Yeah.
my new
thank you.
siblings.
Thank you. Thank you,
Great.
my new siblings as well.
Any last words before we close out?
That was it. Queen, just thank you so much for this opportunity. It's an honor to be on your panel today. I look forward to many more collaborations with everybody on this panel and even in the chat room. You know, we all should do this together. And, you know, thank you so much, Queen.
Set your alarm for 7 hours ahead now.
Exactly. Everybody hit the like button, subscribe to African Millennia and everyone on the panel. And I already shared it on both my Facebooks and on my YouTube community page. So hopefully get some good likes and good subscribers on here. And that way you can keep building your platform, your black form for us. All right. And it's good to have a queen from the continent who knows what we're talking about, how we think, and you'll be able to defend us and put us in place too. Because you know when we right and you know when we're wrong.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you, sister. Compton is always right.
You
Thank
know,
you so much.
yeah.
I definitely hope to actually meet all y'all guys on the continent. I never really thought about Gambia, but you guys really put me on. So I will see you guys in the future. And to everyone who's watching, I love you so much, but I'm really spent. My voice is out. So I'll see you guys
Okay.
tomorrow. Thank you to the panel. Thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate it. You guys are like second family. I really do appreciate it. But we'll see you guys all tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.